Wait. That's fine. Stand together! Hold. 0. Up now! Hold. Go, that's fine. Up now! Here we are, hold, go, 2. That's shoulder. Stand together! Here we are, hold. Go, 3. Release the ball! Here we are, good.
All the
4.
way east. Whole line's in front. All good.
Play on. There's 1 in there. Stand together. Hold here. Back here. 1. Up now! Here we don't play it on him. Go, 2. Play on. That's lost ball.
0 coming.
Sorry, bud. Up now! Here we are. 0. Release together! Here we are, hold. Go, 1. Hold! Release! Hold. Go, 2. Surrender! All the way. Hold. Go, 3. Fire. He's out! Release! Hold here, hold! Go, 1. Play the ball! Hold! Go, 2. Stand now! Here we are, hold. Go, 3.
Keep coming, 2.
Good.
Stay good.
Up!
Grip there. Grip, east wall.
Play on. Tackle 1.
Forward pass.
Play on! That's fine. Up now!
In now.
Hold here. Go.
Chase is
Good. Yeah.
Now.
Thanks, mate. Oh, cheers.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, boys. Thanks, mate.
reckon? I reckon they go that way.
Welcome to round 8 of the Intrust Super Cup. We're at Suzuki Stadium, home of the East Tigers. The Tigers this afternoon taking on the Norths Devils. Both teams last start losers. Norths have had a pretty good start to the year, in fact. They've had 5 wins and 2 losses, but just wobbling in the last couple of weeks. And the East Tigers disappointing losers last week to Tweed Heads, 24 points to 12. Now, the Tigers last week had a depleted lineup, a number of injuries in the club, and also the Melbourne Storm affiliation players not available. So it was a depleted lineup for the Tigers, but nevertheless, a loss against Tweed, who are sitting bottom of the ladder. So it's a game today that the Tigers very much want to make up for last week's errors. As I said, the Norths have plenty to play for too to get back on a roll. A number of changes in both lineups, but with me, of course, David Wright and Gavin Payne. And David, first of all, looking at the lineups today, the Tigers come in much stronger, I would say, than last week.
You're dead right, Warren. 2 very important additions, both affiliated with the Storm, and that's Chase Blair, very experienced centre, was out injured last year, broke his ankle, I think. First came back, so I'll be interested to see how he goes, but he's a very good player and will be looking to get back into the NRL. And of course, Matt Grote, which not a lot of people might not have heard of, but he's played a bit of NRL as well. Had a couple of injuries last year, but again this year, pre-season training, injured his shoulder. So he's a big plus coming back in off the bench. So you're right, they'll be strengthened by that. I see Brodie Croft again will play today. I don't think he played last week either. He'll play it in the number 6 today. So certainly a stronger side. And they'll be looking to put in a far improved performance on last week. The other thing too, Warren, is that they've got a very awkward sequence building up here of win-losses. They've lost 1-1, lost 1, lost 1, and then lost again. Now, if you like the sequence, you're going to win today, it means, but it's not a good cycle to be in, to be winning and losing week after week. And it's to do, I guess, a little bit with injuries, but also the ins and outs of the Melbourne players. That sort of certainly does fluctuate the strength of the Tigers team, but they'll certainly be out for a far improved performance this afternoon against the North Devils, who are a very good side. As you said, they've been going very strong. I think they've got about 12 points up compared with the Tigers, or 10 points I think compared with the Tigers, 6 on the ladder. So a very important game for East to make sure they don't lose touch with those top sides.
Yeah, well, East is sitting 7th on the ladder at the current moment. Norths, they're in equal second position, if you like, 4th on in terms of for and against, but equal second in terms of competition points. So well positioned right now, but they want to bounce back from last week's loss. They went down to the Townsville Blackhawks 30-16. Very slow start from Norths last week. They gave away 2 tries early in the game and struggled from that point on to get back into it. Gavin, just take another look at these changes we were just talking about. As David said, Patrick Kafusi back, Chase Blair's in the team, Matt Grote's in the team, as well as, and I think I mentioned Brodie Croft, but then we've also got James Salter joining the lineup, and Connor Carey's back from injury. So, I mean, we've got 6 players coming into the lineup today. I mean, this is a big shake-up. I think it makes for a classier, more experienced lineup, but that's a lot of changes in 1 week.
Yeah, look, it is indeed, and that's been the nature of the East Tigers this year, I feel, in that they just can't get that consistency of lineup in their talent and their player pool to keep that rolling along. And again, that's partly because of the association with Melbourne and what is sent back. You know, Brodie Croft played here all last year as well, and he's come through the East system, so you know he's probably lacking a little bit of confidence at the NRL level. But you know, I'm sure that he will come out here today and go really well, and that's a little bit perhaps of what East will need and will be looking for from him as well, as will the Melbourne Storm, so that they can look at that and see him progressing and getting more confident and perhaps getting back up into that NRL level. So you know, there are a lot of changes. Kafusi's a big in for me as well. Like, he's been in outstanding form, and some of their key players that they had in those early season wins, as in Drinkwater and the like, not there at the moment, and young Tonamapia also for different reasons. Drinkwater out injured, Tonamapia up playing.
Billy Walters as well, Gav, not available yet with a broken thumb, I think it was, a finger, yeah. So they've got a few out, but good to see some coming back.
Yeah, indeed. So I'm expecting an improved performance just on their last week's side. I had a look at it at the start, and I thought I waited for the updates to come through, for the changes to come through on the QRL website, and they never eventuated. So it was a recognisable, but it was a reasonably unrecognisable side that he's put out last week. So I'm looking for a big improvement today.
Well, exactly, and as you mentioned, that injured list is pretty sad. The wounded list for the Tigers at the moment. Billy Walters, Connor Carey back today, that's good. Shane Newman's still out, Tommy Butterfield's out, Dave Tyrrell's out today, and Jared McCallum and Scott Drinkwater, as we said. But just to kind of put it into perspective, the players that are missing from last week's team are Ollie Olds, Dave Tyrrell, Marley Sevi, Joe Bond, Jared Tute and Anton Iaria. They're guys who are in the team, displaced more because of the quality of the replacements. Now today, as I said, it's round 8 of the Intrust Super Cup, and this is Anzac round, and we are about to have an Anzac Day commemoration here at Suzuki Stadium, and as you can see, the two teams are being led out with members of the armed forces and youngsters from a number of the junior clubs around the district, all coming out with the first grade players, and they'll line up side by side on the field. And there's an under 8 player from North Juniors and East Juniors coming out with the Intrust Super Cup teams here right now, here in the middle of Suzuki Stadium. So we've seen some wonderful tributes to our Anzac heroes over the past few days, and here at Suzuki Stadium, the East Tigers doing their bit, David.
Yeah, it's great to see, Warren. I mean, the NRL, as you say, they've done a fantastic job to pay tribute to our Defence Forces and the great effort and work and the sacrifices they put in to make sure Australia is this wonderful country that we can enjoy. And therefore it's also good that the Queensland Rugby League and also the Intrust Super Cup and East here pay the same tribute, and it's terrific to see the young ones out there very much part of it to make sure that tribute is heartfelt.
Indeed. So members of the armed forces in attendance with the players.
Private Christopher Canning, the bugler, who will play the last post, followed by a minute's silence, the rouse, and then reveille, and then we will have 2 anthems. Corporal Stephen McDonald.
East Tigers CEO alongside the bugler, Brian Torpey, I should say, East CEO.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Can you still remain upstanding while we play the national anthem of New Zealand? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it's been an excellent number of tributes over recent days to those who fought in World War I, World War II, all the wars in which Australia has participated, including, of course, the Vietnam War. And here again at Suzuki Stadium, a fitting tribute. The players will warm up, and we might take a look at the team's lists in just a moment, because there are a number of changes not only to the East Tigers but also to the North Devils. Toss being held on the field, but looking through the Tigers lineup, the back line is Link Port at fullback, Connor Carey on one wing, Kia Piera in one centre position, Chase Blair comes into the team at the other centre position, Jared McAnally on the other wing, Braden Torpey at 5'8", Brody Croft halfback, and the forward pack, Patrick Kafusi, Chris Ostwald and Brett Grenke is the front row. Grenke up front, or originally picked up front, he may be in the second row now. Jake Foster and Adam Creer, originally named in the second row, and Jack Svensson at lock. And the bench is James Salter, Ash Little, Matt Grote and Harley Aono.
And the north side, it's a very good side as well. We've got Jack Ahern there at fullback. Farnworth comes in on the wing to wear number 2. Shubabaska shall wear 4. Pollock 3. Devui on one of the wings. And then in the halves, I'll be very interested to see this halves pairing. Young kid who I think is aligned with the Broncos, young Troy Dargan. Todd Murphy's been around for a while, in his sort of mid to late 20s, but a very, very competent player, even being spoken about as a possible replacement for the hooker for the Bronx, but we'll see how he goes in the defensive department today. That's the key component that he'd have to be strong at. We'd have no doubt about his passing game. Sam Tagatisi in the front row. He was displaced from the bench from the Broncos because of that young kid, Payne Haas, on Thursday night. Beatty will hook. Tui Asau in the second row, and then Navue McGreal, Guy Williams will come off the bench today, Pallavi, and then Dodd to Noah Brown will start the match, Doyle Munga and Garn, so Callum Garn. There's the side there, and as I say, it's a very strong side. They're 4 points in front of the Tigers as it stands on the premiership table at the moment. Coach is Rowan Smith. Now, interestingly enough, he is the son of Brian Smith, who used to coach, of course, St George and Parramatta, coach with a lot of success. Newcastle, a lot of success, but it didn't include a premiership. Much to the delight of the Broncos. I think he won back-to-back grand finals, the Bronx in 92 and 93 against Brian Smith. And I also think his brother was Tony Smith, or is Tony Smith,
Still coaching in England now.
Well, he did coach at Warrington, Warren, my old club, and when I was back over there last year for the Broncos match, I saw Tony Smith, so he doesn't coach at the Broncos anymore, but what a family tradition in coaching. So Rowan Smith, this is his first year in the Intrust Super Cup, as I understand it. He started with
assistant coach at Tweed, I think, last year.
He was, and 5-2, 5 wins and only 2 losses, so he's started pretty well. And,
sorry, when I say Tweed, I should say the Titans.
The Titans, that's right. He was assistant coach of the Titans, so it'll be interesting to see just how he has his side playing today. I expect them to come out strongly. It's something, Gav, that East, the games we've seen, East haven't always started well. They've often let in an early try, and you would think today you've got to start well against a strong opposition.
Every day you've got to start well, David, if you can. Obviously, there's no good giving away points head start. It always makes it that much harder. Not saying that you play catch-up football, but you're behind the 8 ball to an extent, and you're always chasing points. So very important that East get off to a first-class start today, and I think that will come if they can tighten up the middle of the ruck. I've been a little bit sad to see their ruck defence. It hasn't quite been what it has needed to be in recent weeks.
So away we go. East Tigers kicking off, defending what would be the northern end of the ground here at Suzuki Stadium. Easy to distinguish the two teams. The North Devils in their more traditional blue colours and the Tiger stripes for Easts. And a couple of hit-ups, taking it up the middle with Norths, turning it up the centre now, playing in the number 9 jersey, Macquarie Beattie. 23 years old this week. He has a little dash here out of dummy half, gets it up towards halfway. Jack Ahern, the fullback, up at dummy half now. He'll be one to watch during this game. Taking it now, it's Sam Tiggertv, the most experienced man on the field. He's played 171 NRL games. Picked in the front row today, picked at lock last week to start the game for Norths. Kick ahead, and the Tigers have it deep in their own territory, skirting across field.
It's a tidy start from Norths. Let's see if the Tigers can have a similarly tidy start.
Connor Carey goes for a run up to the 30. 3 men in the tackle, dump him down hard. And Ligport gets up to dummy half. Knocked back a couple of metres there. Now Jake Foster up the short side, and they put him on his back too. That's good solid defence from Norths. Good solid heading. Driving the Tigers back a couple of metres. Patrick Kafusi now, just short of halfway. 5th tackle. So you'd expect Brodie Croft to get it. No, it will be Braden Torpey instead. And Torpey kicks down to Jack Ahern, brings it back.
They've had a switch of numbers too, Warren. I see Brodie Croft is wearing 7 and Torpey 6. It was slightly different in the program, but Norths have made the first error of the match, and the Tigers pick it up. Kafusi fires it out here to Croft. Up there to Chase Blair, tries to go through himself. Oh, just couldn't get the ball and arm free to pop it up there to Croft. They'll take it up the middle through Svensson. What a workaholic he is, and that's a good post-contact metres. I like to call them steel metres. The extra distance you get after that first contact on the tackle. Ostwell up there to Torpey. Torpey fires the long one out. Nicely out through Foster. Up there to Pierre, and a penalty will go to the Tigers. They'll allow to be able to keep this pressure going, and a good opportunity. But when you get these chances, you're looking to convert to points.
Well, that early mistake from the winger Herbie Farnworth, brought into the game as a late change, made the mistake. Now they've got the penalty against them North, so they're right on their goal line defending. And a mistake made. Oh, that's a bad error.
It was Grinke. He got through the tackle, and then all he had to do was get up the. It should be the easiest part to play it, and just fumbled. So the pressure off.
All in all, a pretty good start for the Tigers.
Yeah, look, North's making the first error, as you said during the call, and not a bad start, but that will be terribly frustrating. You know, once you get that 6 again on the opposition's try line early in the match, you really want to keep that pressure on, don't you, and get another set from a roll in, if not a try.
Yeah, though I did like some of that Devils defence. They put a couple of good shots in there. Okay, the Norths have it from the scrum win, and another chance for Farnworth. Takes it to the centre of the field. Devils trying to make the hard yards. A little bit of work over the top there on Shibasaki. Shibasaki is a dangerous young footballer, one to watch in this game. big opportunity to see some of the players not only aspiring to be in the Melbourne side, but in the Broncos side. And of course, North's affiliated with the Brisbane Broncos as they cross the halfway here. TigerTV wants it, gets it, and keeps on driving through the line. 5th tackle, 40 out. It's with Dargan off that left boot, puts it up high. Be a good contest to compare the fortunes today of Troy Dargan, a left foot boot, and also Brodie Croft. 2 young players who you would expect to see plenty of NRL in the future. Now here's Chase Blair. Was really in form about a year and a half ago, played in the 2016 NRL Grand Final, but then suffered injuries last year. Back on the paddock and looking to regain that form where he was most definitely holding his place in the Melbourne Storm lineup week after week, just 2016.
Was it Curtis Scott who came in to replace him and then became a huge success?
Well, they were sort of duelling around the time, for the spot,
yeah.
but Chase Blair got the chance. I think Scott might have got injured. Now here's Torpy running, going up the middle. Brayden Torpy away, looks for support left and right. Coming downfield to Ahern, looks inside, can't find Croft. Ball goes loose, it's still play on, but now lost. The Norths have got it. Well, a chance goes begging there for the Tigers.
An old coach of mine said the easy part's breaking the line, the hard part is actually finishing it off. That work by Torpy straight through the middle was beautiful. The support came in. Here's Torpy again. Let's have another look. Takes them on, which is good to see. Croft flashing up on the inside there. Not a good pass. He actually called that play on, which surprised me in itself. And then a fumble by Adam Creer. Well, you don't get much better chances than that to put points on. And that is one that's got away. So now the Devils up over the halfway line.
Yeah, that's Tanoa Brown having a hit up.
This time we've got Palavi, the skipper. Again, 5th tackle, so we'll see what they'll do this time. A high kick came last time. Ahern does exactly the same. Awkward kick this one. Carey's underneath it, comfortably covered. He had to pass a fitness test, I think, last night, Connor Carey. And he is a good young kid, Connor Carey. Queensland under-18s and 20s. So he's got, and I like his aggression. There's Chase Blair, again surging forward. So he's given a clear message that he's ready to play here for the Tigers today. Another good flat ruck, right on that advantage line. Ball taken up strongly there by Creer. Back on the inside is that Kafusi.
Grinky, I think.
Yeah, Grinky it was. There's Brodie Croft's chest back on the inside. He finds a gap in the middle, putting a gap there against the... and he throws the dummy at support either side. Perhaps covered. Good quick play the ball. Now they can go on with the job. Down the blind side. Up there to Port. Port little grubber kick through. Is it too deep? Yes. Another chance. Well, you've got to capitalise, Gav. You can't get those chances and not make the opposition pay.
Well, you really do. And they've 2 outstanding opportunities there. Just the centre of the ruck a little loose for North, and there's Croft going up. He's got Creer in support, but just doesn't throw the pass. I think Creer might have been tackled anyway, but never mind. They'll just have to keep probing away the centre of that ruck, and here's the kick that just goes a little too far.
Yeah, I tell you, I really like the footwork and the speed of Brodie Croft there. I mean, he's more known for his game management and kicking, but he showed he can run there.
And both halves have split them, haven't they? Yeah, Torpy on the left, Croft on the right. But I can't understand why they go right-hand side of the ruck there. It looked to be a dead-end street. There was plenty of opportunities far left, and the Devils immediately bring it back to the halfway line. So they're off the hook twice. Back on the inside there to Ahern. Ahern up the middle. Well, the Tigers have found some gaping holes in the middle of the Devils' ruck. Let's see if they can close it up themselves. Long pass, awkward one. Gets it on there. That's gone forward.
Yeah, Todd Murphy threw it. I thought it went forward and then floated more on the breeze. There is a bit of wind today. We haven't commented on that, blowing down the ground behind Norths in this first half. But Shibasaki found that floating away from him and couldn't gather it in. He's been involved already in the game. Get how much Shibasaki? He's only 19 years old.
Yep, you can say it's an open game. Both sides prepared to throw the ball around. Murphy there goes one pace forward and then basically passes it forward. So there's no chance for anything to come of that. The Tigers now with another chance. They've shown how dangerous they can be from a long way out. This time Grinky just a settler there. Often had a back rower these days, especially in that part of the field, just to take it up and settle. Another strong ruck to roll that defence back. That was Adam Creer. He's the son of Mark Creer, who played commendably in the Brisbane Rugby League in the early days, along with Steve Creer. So very strong rugby league family, the Creer family. Oswald in at dummy half. Croft standing very wide. Are they going to try and find him? Yes, they do. Cut one player out. He puts it up there to Port. Port throws a bit of a dummy. Brushes away from one. Can't get away from the big number 16 to Noah Brown. They'll go left this time. Up this time to Grinky. Grinky flat pass up to Svensson. Can he get through? Pops it out the back again. Good chance here for the Tigers. Again, it's on the deck. The quick hands. They picked it up. They're going again. This could, no, he's going to call it back. McAnally gets the ball down. But once again, the Tigers with chances, and they just seem to rush things there. They needed to have time on their side.
I think the ref is ruling it was knocked on by North, so I thought initially he said it'd come off the Tigers, and they were calling for 6 more, but I think this will be a scrum feed to the Tigers.
So was it...
He has called it a double knock on. I didn't see a Tigers knock on there at all, but we'll just have to go with the ref there.
Yeah, so Braden Torpey's going to feed this into the scrum. A good offload from Patrick Kafusi in the lead up there. Got the Tigers going forward. Here they have the scrum win now. Linkport's up from fullback and looks dangerous in any position on the field, but fullback's as good as any. And a penalty in favour of the Tigers right in front of the post. Well, they've nearly scored 2 tries. So far, Norths have been able to hold out. Will they take the tap here?
No, they're going to run it.
Yeah, they're going to take the tap and get on the board with a 4-pointer if they can. Svensson has it. Attacking just a few metres out. Testing out the North's defence. East well positioned. Shape either side. Croft comes to the right. Goes short to Chase Blair. He's powerful. He's over. Has he got it down? That's a question. Referee's going to rule this a try. He does. Short ball from Brodie Croft to Chase Blair. Pretty simple play. But Blair, a big strapping centre, he was able to take them over the line and got it down.
Well, Melbourne have made an art form of this, that short punch play close to the try line. Sometimes defences are a bit worried of it or second guessing whether it's going out the back. Croft comes across, finds Chase Blair. There's the Melbourne combination. And Chase Blair just back from what was a pretty bad broken ankle, needed a surgery on it last year. And he'd be rapt to be back on the field of play, but not only that, coming off a good pass there from Brodie Croft.
Actually, you'll see targets Dargan. Troy Dargan's the man who has to make the first up hit, and it's a smaller man, couldn't hold him.
Yeah, and in the Pollock, just come out of the line a little bit as well, which just created a little bit of probably reassured Brodie Croft that he needed to go to the short man because he couldn't get out the back to Linkport sweeping around behind, and you're exactly right, taking on Dargan. So Dargan was really left posted there by his outside defensive support and didn't get a lot of help from the inside either, due to Croft just straightening up onto that inside shoulder of the defenders. So really good play there from Croft. That's a couple of really good touches. I know he's only a young kid and he's had a few games up in the NRL. He's come back here again and to try and regain that form that he had last year here playing with East. And I'm sure that he is on the way to getting back into that NRL squad.
So Braden Torpey lining this up. You see that short effective play from the Tigers on the triple play replay. Now Torpey might hit the breeze. Let's see. No, it's holding its line. It's a good kick, good conversion. And on the black and white cab scoreboard, it's the East Tigers 6, the North Devils 0.
Proud sponsors at Town and Country Markets, your produce merchants.
Nearly 13 minutes of play gone, and the Tigers, having been denied twice after making good line breaks through Torpey and Croft, this time Blair gets it over the line. Jack Ahern with the restart, and it's allowed to bounce. Croft's got it and gets it away. Grenke it was bringing it forward. Now they work it wide. Foster tries to shake off one and does get to the second, but quickly up to play the ball. Now Kafusi, Patrick Kafusi, and striving to gain every metre he can. It's a slow play the ball. It was a pretty slow release on the call of the referee. Foster takes them on himself. Foster a good running forward, but knows he's got to vary the play. Takes it to them this time. Now Svensson, good hit. Good work from TigerTV, and I tell you what, Sam TigerTV, remember his Titans days, he can be a missile of a defender. High bomb underneath it, and taken well by Namila Davui. And Davui's down on his own 20.
Chance now for the Devils to work their way back out. They're trailing by 6 points to nil. Strong defence by the Tigers. That's not going to give them any easy territory. Good work from the Tigers before they got that penalty right in front. So many sides these days are taking the easy 2 points. The Tigers backed themselves, and within a couple of tackles came up with a 6-pointer. So well done there. Dargan there kicking. Not a particularly good kick, a little bit wobbly, but Linkport covers it quite comfortably. And the Tigers will be more than happy to get first possession, only 7 metres from the halfway line. So the Devils on the back foot here at the moment. This time McAnally, TigerTV, as Warren said, he can hit. And the key is how quickly he moves up. You've got to be moving forward to make a good tackle these days. If you're standing back, the chances are the good players and the strong running styles will keep you going backwards. You'll be moving up to make that tackle. Brody Croft punches down the middle, tries a dummy himself, goes through, fires it up on the outside. The career got support by Linkport, and he's strolling away. What a hurry! He allowed Murphy to get to him, but he scored it. Looked a little bit casual to me. I reckon he had about another 3 gears. But again, Brody Croft straight up the middle of the ruck, threw a dummy initially, looked for support, went through. So he's really asking questions of the defensive line by a little bit of deception. The dummy was good, went through. Good work from Adam Creer, who backed up earlier in another play, was unable to take the ball cleanly, but he did well to back up there. And then good work again from the fullback, straight down the middle, Billy Slater style try.
Only 3 minutes after the last try. Good punch play there by Croft with a dummy inside, found space, Creer backed up beautifully. Port was there exactly where a fullback would be and should be. And Gavin Payne, you'd know that as you're a former East Tigers fullback.
Yeah, look, that's pretty. It's really pretty to watch, isn't it? Brody Croft really just starting to find his feet here. Had the inside line of Kafusi there, which just held that inside defence up again a little bit. Very important. You'll just see it here. Kafusi just show and go, and just gets on the outside there. I think it was a TigerTV. Creer pushed through the line. Linkport exactly where he needed to be to just casually cruise to the line and put the ball down one-handed with a flying dive, Dave.
He wasn't going to do a hemi there, was he? You know,
he was definitely teasing Todd Murphy. Yeah. He was just saying, come on, see how close you can get. There's a rainbow up behind the goalpost. That's a good sign, the direction the Tigers are running.
Well, they've done
come
well,
out just
Tigers,
as they scored 2 tries.
And they have busted Norths from a long way out on a couple of occasions. Each time the halves, so they're troubling Norths in the middle of the ruck with some good play by Croft and Torpy. When you're conceding long distance tries, you've got a problem.
12-0 on the black and white cap scoreboard.
Maruka Suzuki provides you with exceptional service, and we try to make the buying experience as smooth as possible. Located on Ipswich Road in Maruka.
The all-new Baleno. See your local dealer or search Suzuki Queensland.
Lapses have cost the Devils badly, and they're back at halfway, restarting from the boot of Herbie Farnworth. Came in to take Paul Yulberg's position today. Yulberg, one of the changes, along with the Riccardi brothers, left out of the original named lineup for Norths. Ostwell fires it out, Torpy, Kafusi, and Murphy up quickly there on him, along with Shibasaki. The ball's been shoveled loose, and that will be a penalty to the Tigers. There's too much work on the ball there after the player had been held.
Very handy penalty though, as it saves you doing the hard yards. Kick by Torpy, as Warren said, there's quite a strong breeze. There's a few showers and storms around, so they're getting a little bit of wind coming off those, and at the moment it's favouring the Devils.
Jake Foster with the ball, the captain doing plenty of work early in the game. Braden Torpy dropping into halfback, into dummy half I should say. Now Svensson, good surging run. Now this is where Norths have been vulnerable. Their defence has opened up a couple of times. Torpy to the left, dummying run, cutting back through the line there was Kia Pierre. Torpy, Kafusi.
Clumsy play that, there wasn't any thrust or purpose in it.
Ostwell at dummy half to Croft. He accelerates the play. Grenke up the middle. Well read by TigerTV. Nevertheless, a good play to test them out. Now Croft on the last. Ostrell halfway through. Can't get it away. Gets it away late. On the ground. I think it was knocked on. It was knocked on by Port. So a half chance on the last tackle, but it breaks down.
They're really punching holes up the middle of the Norse defence. They'll need to just stack it in a bit. Brodie Croft, very dangerous. He's dangerous, Gab, because he's got options, hasn't he? I like players who they're not predictable. He's coming, he's running.
Well, he's provided the options by his support runners, David, isn't he? And you know, those inside balls are just keeping that Norse defence on the edges quite honest, and they'll eventually stop throwing the inside balls and pop it outside and look for the breaks around the edge of the ruck.
Looking dangerous. Let's see. Norse haven't had a lot of possession recently, certainly no attack ball, so they'll enjoy getting down in the Tigers territory here. They roll them back early in the tackle count. That's Murphy. Good little grubber kick in behind. It's going to stay in the field of play. Beautifully taken. It's a try. That's a try. Is that Farnworth out there? Well, Todd Murphy, what a beautiful kick. It looked for a moment like it was going to go into touch, but Farnworth flushed down that right-hand wing. Is that him hobbling now? But he certainly scored the try. Murphy took the odds to the grubber kick in behind, and it's paid dividends.
You'd have to say the Tigers were caught napping there. It looked for all money as if it would go to the sideline. This kick from Murphy goes right to the line. Farnworth got the jump and comes racing past McAnally and gets it down beautifully. But really, they were very slow to react there. I guess you've got to give credit to Murphy and Farnworth, but I was with you, David. I thought this is going over the sideline, and I wonder whether that's what the Tigers thought as well.
I think it's absolutely what the Tigers thought. I thought McAnally thought, well, this is going over to the big Tiger over there, and he just jogged along, and before he realised it was too late, that Farnworth had snuck by and stole his eggs.
I think what's happened there too, that was quite early in the tackle count, and that's why no winger was back there to try, and McAnally wasn't back, not anticipating at all a kick. So
but all the more reason McAnally should have shot out of the blocks.
Oh, absolutely, you've got to turn and chase. Not as easy, obviously, to turn and go when the players are on the run. If Murphy had already told his outside backs he was going to kick, then Farnworth flashing through. So a lot of the good work by the Tigers has been pulled back there. I guess Murphy.
Well, I doubt that McAnally would know too much about Herbie Farnworth, late inclusion in the team, and I think he's just been surprised by his speed. I think we all have.
Well, let's just say great work by Farnworth to pursue the kick, not give up on it at any stage, and got the reward.
Todd Murphy attempting the conversion from the sideline, and he's got it. So a good hit back by the Devils, and the Tigers leading at 12 points to 6 here at the Suzuki Stadium.
Their management and staff at Triple Play take great pride in the sportswear they produce. To achieve your ultimate in performance and style, make Triple Play part of your team. Triple Play Sportswear, part of the Aspect Group.
12 points to 6 in favour of the Tigers over the Devils on the black and white Cabs scoreboard. We've had 22 minutes of play. In fact, that whole set from North, I mean, they did make a bit of ground through those big forwards. It's the first real impact they've made in a set, Dave.
Yeah, and then they went on with it nicely. I think Murphy did well to spot that there was no one back, so there was always an opportunity. The Tigers are actually leading by 12 points to 6 at the moment, although there we are, 12-6. Now the Devils to try and work it out of their own territory again. As Warren said, they did it pretty comfortably in that last set of 6. Beattie there at dummy half. Comes up this time to Dargan. Back on the inside to Asau. He's pops it out there. Was it knocked on? No, it must have come off his knee. They're a bit fortunate there, the Devils. Picked up then by Pallavi. Again, they're doing it quite easily coming out of their own end. Todd Murphy fires the pass up. Good tackle it was, but he still gets it away. The Devils surging forward up into the 20-metre zone. High kick coming, last tackle play. Murphy on the spot again, can't decide what to do. He'll want to offload it, probably should have got rid of it. Little grubber kick will force the Tigers through Port. Little zigzag play, Carey, he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle. It's always difficult to just pop a ball back on that scissor pass inside your own goal. And I would have thought Port had the best chance to get out.
I absolutely agree, David. I can't believe that he threw that ball up to McAnally, was it? No, to Connor Carey. Here's the kick coming in the replay box here. Good little kick by the number 9 for the Beatty for the Devils, and he's just got to turn and get out and get down low. Bit of a stumble there by Kerry as well, didn't help his cause, but neither did the 3 or 4 Norths defenders that bowled him into the goalpost.
Short drop out, and it's finding touch. Has it gone 10 metres though?
I think so, mate.
No, it hasn't. Penalty right in front of the post to the North Devils. You'd think they would take a tap and try to get back to level terms with a converted try here.
What are you doing? Are you tapping the ball?
Dead end. Looks like the Devils are going to do the same. They're going to try and square things up on the scoreboard. To Noah Brown straight up the middle, just the settler. They're set left and right, as you would expect. First dummy run up there to Murphy. Murphy's got a second dummy run up to Ahern. Well read though. Good rushing defence there by Piera. He had to shut that down. There was extras on the outside. So he's done well to come up and come in. Larby again taking their time, the Devils. They're not pushing it on every play. This time up to Dargan. Dargan, little chip over the top this time. Good place kick as well, but Connor Carey gets back there just to save the day. He's caught in the in-goal area though.
Well, I think he was actually taken into the in-goal area. He caught it on the full, but the referee's call was that he caught it in the field of play and then was taken over in the tackle. 50-50 call, I thought, from here, but no one seems to be disputing it on the field.
A chip kick does give the chasers time to get up and force that tackle. So a bit more pressure coming on the Tigers. Torpy to drop it out. Back to back, he's gone a short kick, but he's punched it towards the sideline, and he's going to get the result he was after. No, just stayed in the field of play. I think
surely knock on, wasn't it?
Shibasaki.
No call from the referee.
Rilda's gone backwards. The Devils now with a great opportunity to go straight back on the attack. They got the rub of the green there. Slowish play the ball. Tagatisi up the middle. Devils set this way with Murphy on the left this time. And he didn't have enough time to put his play on. Good rushing defence there by Svensson. You must come up your line here and put pressure on the attack. You can't give them time to play their little games. Up there to Beatty, up to Murphy. Murphy gets it away as well. Got to go close. Is it Tagatisi? Very close. Tagatisi just short. Last tackle play. And penalty. Well, you've got to be careful giving away those penalties in that situation. Why you would give it on the 5th tackle?
The ball's been dislodged by one of your players.
It just gives the Devils another chance.
Tagatisi went very close. He's already scored 3 tries this season, which is pretty good going for a front rower come back rower.
Here's the build up to it. Back on the inside, through the hands. Murphy up there to Tagatisi. Just slipped through the front line, but good defence in the end to hold him out. North's back on the attack again. Murphy throws a dummy back to Ahern. Ahern comes back on the inside to Pallavi. Beatty working the dummy up, goes himself. Beatty goes low, pushes, drives, can't get through. I think that was a link port there with some desperate defence.
Go, 3. 7's way offside.
Close again. Oh, this time the big fella, 16, is going to be...
Knock on.
Knocked it on in the tackle.
To Noah Brown, couldn't get the ball down with some good, strong defence on the try line.
It was just a bobble in the hands of Noah Brown. He was very close to hitting, spinning and coming up with a try. It was just bobbled into the East player, and the referee on the spot has called knock on, so a chance slipped through the fingers of the Devils.
Scott Tipple will be really pleased with that. That's 3 back-to-back sets there, 2 line dropouts and that 5th tackle penalty. So that'll be exactly what he's looking for. You know, a bit of starch in their defence and not breaking, giving but not breaking, and allowing that try to be scored.
Oswald coming off the line, which was a good effort. Even if you only can get off 1 or 2 metres, you've got some chance to stop those big fellas.
Important game for the Tigers for a number of reasons. I mean, 3 wins, 4 losses for the season. This is another home game for them, and out of 4 so far, they've only come up with 2 wins and 2 losses. They should be wanting to make this a fortress. And some interesting stats when you look at it. Norths have won only 1 of their last 6 games with East, with 1 drawn. But East have won only one of their last 8 with North's at Langlands Park and 1 drawn. And for that matter, the away team has won 7 of the last 8 between these two sides.
Well, this is what the Tigers supporters have been waiting for, Warren. Matt Grote out there on the field. He's got NRL experience, been out injured for quite some time, did a shoulder training down with Melbourne earlier in the season. He was one of the premier buys this season for the Tigers, and he's finally out on the park, and his first run was a good one. Got a little bit of Matt Lodge look about him. Big, strong young guy. Played NRL at a young age. High ball this time. Bit of pressure on for Hearn. He's knocked it forward. Was he offside? Well, it's got to be a knock on, surely. I thought that was off for Hearn, but he's decided it's off for Tiger. This is a Hearn trying to get away from the defence. He's going cross field. That won't see him with any successes. Doesn't pick up too much territory, but does move the ruck around.
Matt, you just got to hold the
Devils still working their way out.
Just heard the referee chip Matt Grote. He needs to stay his 10. He got back 10 but moved away too early. The referee let him go. He's a bit toey at the moment. First game of the season.
Yeah, don't blame him for that. The Devils now to work their way out. Brings it out the back here. Good pass it is too. Fires it up then to Pollock. Pollock gets up over the halfway line. Hearn races into dummy half. Dargan's first receiver on the right. He gets it. Puts that left foot kick up. Spiralling kick. Hard one here for Port. Under it nicely. Takes it comfortably. Straightens up. Goes through. Picks up a few extra metres. They're important metres too. That if you just come forward another 10 metres, it just helps the successive rucks. Pass back on the inside there to McNally. Coming into the middle to help the forwards out after that kick downfield.
Go to.
The Tigers now. Nothing, no errors here now. You've at least got to get to the other end of your 6 and put a bit of pressure back on the opposition.
Hold. Go 3.
Here's Grote. Didn't get a head of steam up then. Plenty of tackles came in to wrap him up. Struggling to get to his feet. Up here to Croft. Kriya. Last tackle now. Croft down a blindside punches. He's happy to find the touchline and take the scrum and a little bit of a breather.
And Ostwald leaves the field for the Tigers, and coming out to take his place is the number 14, James Salter. Interesting you talk about Matt Grote. He has a few things in common with not just Matt Lodge. They were all, those two were at West Tigers a few years ago, but Grote was there before Lodge. Grote suffered a number of bouts of concussion, and his career looked like it was just about over. Went over to England, came back last year, played with CQ, I think it was, the Capras, and this year signed by the Tigers, and full of running, ready to go, but unfortunately injured through the early part of the season. But he had a lot of potential. He was in that Tigers team around the time Aaron Woods was in the Tigers team and just starting out. So you can see there's been about a 5-year break in the continuity of his career.
Like you said, he had a lot of similarities with Matt Lodge. He wasn't everything similar to Matt Lodge, was it?
No, physically similar.
He is a big lad. He'd be loving it out there at the moment. He does look like a bit of a caged tiger. Up this time to Dargan. He's a good little kid, this fellow. He's on the Broncos books. Beatty at dummy half, up there to Murphy. Murphy is a constructive player to Hearn, but Hearn pops the pass out. Picked up then on the bounce by Devui. Devui back on the inside. Wilson given a good platform. Last tackle play. Will they run it on the last tackle? They come down the blind side, up there to Murphy. Fires it back on the outside then. This time to Dargan. Little rubber kick through. It'll be a good one. Should sit in the in-goal area. Pressure on the Tigers. Port does the right thing. Just covers it up. Ultimately, Torpy got a hold of it, but good pressure built by the Devils there, and at the same time, the Tigers had plenty back there to cover it.
Yeah, 33 minutes of play, and this is going to be the third dropout that East have had to do, yet the Tigers are in front of the scoreboard, 12 points to 6.
Good kicking game the Devils have shown today. They got a try from a kick, but also forced one into the in-goal area a little bit earlier, a little chip kick. So they got either Dargan or Murphy, and makes a big difference if you got two competent kickers. Again, a little crossfield kick.
Well done.
Beautifully picked up. What a good pickup that was by
Tuiasau.
Tuiasau, yeah. Back on the inside, the big man there in Doyle Munga.
It was actually a very good dropout by Torpy.
Well, that's what they're trying for, Warren. A few of those have been punched low. They're trying to force the knock-on error or hopefully find touch. Murphy throws a dummy, flicks it out the back door as well. Pops up then to Guy Williams, a very experienced Guy Williams. School teacher, Todd Murphy. A little bit of a darting run up there to Dargan. They created the extra man here out on the outside there to DeVille, and he's across in the corner. So good work on the inside. The two halves combining well again in Murphy and Dargan. They'd done the damage by sucking a couple of defenders in field. Then it just had to go through the hands. They did it well, the Devils, and DeVille gets across in the corner.
Yeah, you're dead right, David. The two halves getting together on the same side of the field there, Murphy and Dargan, and then that cutout ball just rifling past. Watch this pass come up here from Ahern. Lovely ball. Covers 15 metres straight into the chest of DeVille, and that is a very nice play put together by North on the back of the dropout.
Yeah, it is, and that's very good work by the North Devils, just creating that opportunity. It's there's been a number of occasions where East seem to have been stripped short of numbers down those sides. I know it's those sweep plays and the decoy runners that are going through that do cause some confusion in defence, but it was just excellent work on the inside there by those two halves to create that space for what's his name, Ahern there to get that pass out to DeVille. So interesting, boys. The game's sort of going in possession blocks, isn't it? Really, there's East had that possession there where they made those couple of breaks and scored those couple of tries. Seemed to have a lot of possession during that time. There's not been a back and forth, and now North's dominating possession again in the latter part of this first half, and with possession obviously comes points.
Yeah, the triple play replay there showing us if you get close enough, often enough, you're going to come up with tries.
Really good work by Murphy there. He didn't just go to the line, he zigzagged a couple of times, and that just kept all the defence holding in, then he pops it back out.
Todd Murphy from the sideline, and he's got another one. Two beautiful conversions from either side of the field, right on the sideline, and that levels the scores on the black and white Cabs scoreboard. Is 12 points all between North and the Devil, 5 minutes till half-time.
But of course, you can simply save this number on your phone. 133 222, and a black and white cab will come straight to you. That's 133 222.
Well, there's still a big rainbow over the top of Suzuki Stadium, but momentum has swung towards North. But what a game we've got on our hands now. All of a sudden you feel it really is game on level on the scoreboard, and North are starting to get stuck into their task. The Tigers began the game with a number of line breaks and a couple of tries, so it's game on, Dave.
It sure is, and big strong. This is a very important couple of minutes up to half-time now for both sides. You don't want to concede a try at this stage, so there'll be, let's see what sort of intensity we see in defence and what creativeness we'll see in attack as the big North side gets up almost to the halfway line. Ahern playing full-back, but happy to come in and really work in and around the rucks. I like the look of this guy. Guy Williams there gets up over the halfway line. Last tackle play. You'd think it'll be a defensive kick. This time to Dargan. No, Murphy it was. Oh, that's not defensive. That's really putting pressure on there. And Connor Carey takes it comfortably. And, this is a handy penalty. Inside and in front of the kicker.
Well, that is, I agree. They've made that mistake a number of times. North's giving away the penalty inside the Tigers' half. Why would you say that was going to be a defensive kick, Dave? If I'm North, I'm attacking.
Well, I would have just put it in the corner, Warren. I must admit. I tried to put a bit of pressure on there.
Like a placement kick.
Yeah, just
okay.
One there to really put him in the pocket.
But yeah, teams these days, they love those midfield bombs, particularly with the work they can put on those torpedoes. Dargan and Murphy are pretty good at it.
But what it comes down, Warren, if you're in front of the kicker, all the work you put on is worthless then, because you're
they go. Linkport chiming in.
On the deck.
Knock on.
Yeah, well, the Tigers showing they're going to put some attack on in these dying minutes, and that's fair enough. Now another chance for the Devils.
Yeah, nice work out wide on the left-hand side as Croft goes across field. He had decoys. Torpy links up with Port. Those two have been dangerous together. Port just couldn't position McAnally and his other option on the inside there, and really they've wasted it there, putting it down.
A particularly good pass because he had both players he could have chosen from, McAnally or Piera.
I think he wanted them to make the move.
I think he needed Piera to come inside, and he started to, but just a fraction too late, and the pass was got to the outside after Piera had moved.
There's definitely been some more ball movement from both teams, but definitely North's in the last few minutes. I think they've been prepared to work it wide. I think they're growing in confidence, and it's starting to seep right through their game. But the big men are doing their job, including Tuasau. Carries it over the halfway line. Fights his way to his feet. In fact, that was Pallavi. Now it's Dargan and Murphy outside him.
Who got it?
Players colliding with one another there. There were a lot of bodies in a small patch of grass. Murphy goes to dummy half. He goes himself. He's got Ahern with him. Now Ahern has it. Those two working together well. Norths have 3 kickers in the halves and the fullback. They've got a line spread from one side to the other here. Murphy turns it back inside. This is Doyle Manga.
Still 4.
Now Shibasaki. Only 5 metres out on the last tackle. And kick ahead from BT. It's juggled in there, knocked back, play on, but Port's going to be grounded in goal. So another grubbering kick from North forces the 4th dropout for the Tigers in this first half.
But again, good work there from Link Port as the fullback. So often we've got players up in the line these days. He was making sure he had that kick well covered.
Well, I said they've got 3 kickers. I think we'll have to throw in Beatty as a 4th. He's already put 2 or 3 kicks in, and they've been pretty effective.
Yeah, they have. They've had a very good kicking game, the Devils. And now with less than a minute up to half-time, we're going to have about 30 seconds. Let's see if they try this punch-low kick again. This time a wobbly old one. This could be awkward though. Picked up this time by Pollock. Dances around a couple of times. Well, last throw of the dice here for the Devils.
Only 23 seconds to go. They could even take a field goal.
Would give them the upper hand. Let's see if they're going to go all out attack. Pallavi. I realise the clock is against them. Down the middle this time. Dargan looks on the inside. Nice work. Fires it on the outside of Murphy. He'll take that field goal. He's right in front. And got it. No, he's missed it. He's missed it, so it's gone to the side, so we'll have no change to the scoreboard coming up to half-time. We've got
the Intrust Super Cup game.
Scoreboard. Here's the replay. Good work again. Those halves punch into the rut. Gave an opportunity for Murphy. Just let it slide off the right-hand side of his boot. But the 2 halves have been very impressive for the Devils this afternoon, as have the Tigers pair.
We came here today knowing this was a pretty important game for both teams. Last week they were both losers, particularly the Tigers need a win today. Norths, likewise, they need to bounce back, and I think we've seen both teams really starting to come to grips with each other, playing some pretty good football, but some real pressure exerted both ways. So the second half is certainly one to look forward to. We'll be back in a moment. Warren Bolden, David Wright and Gavin Payne with you on Tiger TV, and coming up we've got the Mine Lab half-time report.
For a cab, call 13-ECAB.
That's 133 222.
Black and white cabs are on call every day in every way.
Simply pick up a phone and call 13-ECAB and we'll be right there.
You can send a text for instant dispatch.
Or book online at ecab.com.au.
For standard cabs, business class and people movers.
Day and night, it's black and white.
So call 13-ECAB.
That's 133 222.
You should see our restaurant.
You should see our service.
And you should see
us at the all new Easts.
You should see Easts now.
No, I don't think it had gone 10. I agree. Totally agree.
Maruka Suzuki provides you with exceptional service, and we try to make the buying experience as smooth as possible. Located on Ipswich Road in Maruka.
The all-new Baleno. See your local dealer or search Suzuki Queensland.
Their management and staff of Triple Play take great pride in the sportswear they produce. To achieve your ultimate in performance and style, make Triple Play part of your team. Triple Play Sportswear, part of the Aspect Group.
Hey guys, come down to the Suzuki Stadium at Langlands Park and roar with the Tigers. Bring the kids along for some free face painting. There'll also be a giant tiger slide. Why not get your hands on some awesome merchandise? While you're at it, try our succulent steak burgers and meal combos. And when the game's over, head over to the Leagues Club for an award-winning dinner menu. Mal Meninga Cup, 10 to 3. Under 20s, 4:25 p.m. And the Intrust Super Cup is at 6 p.m. The Intrust Super Cup game will be streamed on Tiger TV, 5:45 Eastern Standard Time. All game times are subject to change. Saturday, 18th of March. I'm Pearl from East Tigers TV. So get your smile on and cheer on the mighty Tigers. See you there.
Round 8 of the Intrust Super Cup. It's the Anzac round, and we're watching the East Tigers take on the Devils from northern suburbs, and it's 12 points all at half-time. 2 tries apiece. A couple of excellent conversions, particularly by Todd Murphy, for North levelling it up at 12 all just before half-time. So we've got a gripping second half coming up. But look, I think it's really turning into a very entertaining game of football, David, but hard fought as well. I mean, there's a good battle going on out there.
Terrific battle, Warren. I think, Dave, if you have a look at it, you can see why the halfbacks get the big dollars. Really, they have been the 2 key players. Todd Murphy, his rubber kick to set up the first try, and his good little zigzag run in the middle to set up space on the outside. He's been terrific. And then Brody Croft, he's been involved in both tries. One, the short pass, the other break up the middle. He's broken up the middle previously. So both of those halves are playing really well, and I think it's sparking a whole lot of action around them. And for that reason, I think we've got a very good game on our hands. The kicking game, I think, from the Devils has been somewhat superior because the Tigers really haven't had as many opportunities to use that short kicking game. They've perhaps broken them wide open a few times and then made a few errors.
Well, they've forced 4 dropouts, Norths.
Yeah, 4, exactly. And then you've got a situation that East have probably just made a couple of errors at critical times after they've made good breaks. So Norths have pretty much taken their chances. But the Tigers, they've had a couple, taken a few, but they've missed a few.
Just picking up on the point, Gavin, that David made about the importance of halves. You've got to remember too, these guys on both sides are the ones vying to be in either the Broncos or the Melbourne Storm as backup to the current halves. I mean, in the case of the Broncos, you've got Milford and Nicarima and a problem there with McCulloch being out of action at the current time. You've got Brody Croft who's been dropped, and Riley Jacks has gone in to that spot previously held by Cooper Cronk. Croft wants to be back in the NRL, but there's this, what amazes me, there's a similar style of play about Brody Croft and Troy Dargan, I think, as there is about Riley Jacks.
Yeah, look, I think you're right, absolutely, Warren. You know, for me, Murphy is more experienced at Queensland Cup level and in football in general than young Croft, and Croft's got, you know, all the skills to be a really top-class half. Obviously, Melbourne feel that way, and he's probably very happy to have him back here, I'm sure. But he's just got to learn a bit more. He just get a bit more experienced in the game, I think, to be able to control the game to the extent and get through the game and make the right choices that the experienced halves do. You know, Riley Jacks is doing a really good job up in the Melbourne Storm as well. Scored a couple of tries over the weekend also, and you know, it's great when there's competition for those positions because it pushes the incumbent to make sure that he's on the ball the whole time. Otherwise,
because the one out of all of them, as you mentioned, Riley Jacks is about 25, I think. Todd Murphy out here today is 27. It's Croft and Troy Dargan who've got the future ahead of them, haven't they?
And they're young kids, and as Gav says, it does take time for those young kids, especially to run the game. I think you can have guys that can come in the centres and maybe just know what their job is, but you've got to run the whole game. It's a big thing for a young kid. But it made me think, Warren, even during the week, the last time the Broncos won a comp, which was 2006, their halfback was Shane Perry. He was taken out of the Queensland Cup, the Intrust Super Cup, and now Shane Perry, his job for the Broncos then was to feed the ball to Darren Lockyer, as I recall, in those days, and also kicking, a very good kicking game. So the Broncos have got some big decisions to make around their halves, and I've been thinking, well, who is the Shane Perry that's running around at the moment? And Todd Murphy, providing he's a really good defender, Gav, I'm not sure you've probably seen more of him than I have. How strong would he be to be able to tackle in the middle? And you know, the options are to play him either at half-back at some point in time, if it suits the Bronx, but also possibly at hooker.
Yeah, look, number 14 coming off the bench.
Well, he could. I do think though that he's probably a player. Well, the Bronx want somebody there to just drive the ship around a bit better than what they are at the moment. And from what I hear about Murphy, he's got a lot of those skills. He's got a lot of Shane Perry about him. Yeah,
look, I agree, David. You know, I think you want those more steady players, if I can call it that, to be your starters and a bit of impact coming off your bench. Yep. Sorry to contradict you there, Warren, but you know, Nicarima coming off the bench will give you that impact and that punch, perhaps. Where vice versa, if Murphy was coming off the bench, then perhaps that wouldn't be the case. Just going back to Brodie Croft, you know, Cooper Cronk come through the Queensland Cup as well system, and I think at the same time, Cronk was something like 22 before he established himself in the Melbourne system, and obviously has gone on to very great heights. And you know, there's still that opportunity there for these young kids as well.
You've got to remember that Todd Murphy was a Bronco under 20 about 2009, 2010. Yep. So he's missed the boat at this point in time, but he's still knocking on the door. Yeah, anyway, we should talk. We should talk a bit more about this game, because early on we saw the Tigers make 2 clean line breaks through Brodie Croft, and before him Braden Torby. They weren't able to convert them into tries, but then they did sort of break through and got out to a 12-0 lead, courtesy of those tries by Chase Blair and Link Port. But it wasn't long before the Devils hit back with a bit of a surprise try down the right-hand side when we saw Farnsworth run past McAnally, got on the back of that kick and dived over for a try. And then just before half-time, that lovely work to the left-hand side. Devui scores, 2 tries apiece, both converted, 12 all at half-time.
And as you say, the Tigers created a lot of opportunities they didn't capitalise on. They could have had it more on the scoreboard, and they haven't been able to do that. They then gave the Devils a chance, and they were good enough to put their points on. So it sets for a great second half. I think really the game obviously is in the balance. But I think the Tigers, I mean, you've got to take your chances. So in the second half, they have to be tighter in attack. If you make a bust, you've got to be sure that you're not going to just put the ball down on the deck. You've got to go on with the job. And I think the Devils, I've been very impressed with their kicking game. And a kicking game can build, it can either get you points or it can build your pressure. And that's what they've been better at, I think, the Devils. If the Tigers get in that sink game as well, I think they'll be a better chance.
All right, we'll take a quick break and be back with all the action for the second half here at Suzuki Stadium.
Audio Jungle.
Welcome back to Suzuki Stadium. 12 points all on the black and white Cavs scoreboard between the Tigers and the Devils. Both teams just coming back out onto the park now. The East Tigers wearing special Anzac round jerseys, which will be auctioned. So if you'd like to be involved in that, I'm sure you could get more information. Are they being auctioned at the Leagues Club? I'm just quickly checking with the Tiger TV team. They're being auctioned on Facebook. There you go. So if you'd like a special Anzac round Tigers jersey, get to Facebook, the East Tigers Facebook site, and put in a bid there. We'll be hearing from Mel Tabay shortly from the dressing rooms, find out what the coaches had to say and what injuries might be affecting the team. So far they seem to be okay. In fact, Mel's just coming back into the commentary box now, so we'll get to her in just a moment. Jack Ahern waiting for the kicking tee before we get the second half underway.
Stay inside!
So, second 40 minutes begins, and plenty at stake as Matt Grote comes charging forward, taking it off Brodie Croft. And well, he made a good all but 30 metres upfield. Tigers on the charge with Ash Little. Now Grote has another go. He is keen for work.
So the coach has set him out there with a certain time frame to work in, and just to go as hard as you can for as long as you can.
There's some quick play the balls and some quick movement downfield from the Tigers here. That was Blair playing it. Croft, Svensson, Torpy to Port. This looks dangerous. Piera, oh, it all breaks down. The pass goes behind McAnally and over the sideline, unfortunately. Let's check in with Mel Tabay. Mel's been down to the dressing rooms. What's happening down there at halftime, Mel?
Yeah, so Scott Sipple only had good things to say to the boys, which was good. He just said to keep going, keep the momentum up, and points will come later on. So he's pretty happy with that first half. Obviously, their defensive efforts on the line, and they were just pretty lucky with that. To go around them.
No injury worries in the camp?
No, Jack Svensson did have to get his thumb strapped up, so there might be a little issue there. He is out there, I believe. Yes, he is.
He's out there?
He's out there. He'll probably be getting scans on it after the game, but that's about it.
And North, any news from the Devils? Or didn't they let you into enemy territory?
No, that's exactly right. Didn't go in enemy territory. I'm not sure if I wanted to go in there.
All right, Mel, thank you.
Thank you.
So the Devils with the ball. Pallavi playing it on the halfway. Beattie scoots out of there with a good spinning run. Steals an extra few metres. Sends North's back retreating. Ahern into dummy half. Dargan kicking for the corner, but it's knocked down. Oh, Grote can't pick it up. Croft's still after it, hoping that it might have come off the legs, but I think it touched his hand.
Well, there's another chance. Two chances gone begging for the Tigers in this second half already. The first one from a good sweeping play down this left-hand side, and then that one there. Great work from Matt Grote to make the charge down, and he just couldn't pick up the bouncing ball. He had Brodie Croft, there it is there. Oh, he had it in his lap as well. Brodie Croft would have just given him a little whisper on his shoulder and would have been away. So another chance gone begging for the Tigers.
Yeah, it might come back to haunt them.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Grote might have gone the length righty. Big front rower.
I think that's what he looked at. He looked up and thought there's 70 metres there. How am I going to get out of this?
He would have been happy to get to the halfway. Oh, lost ball. Heavy tackle. What a tackle that was from Grote. And look at him. He's fired up, the big fella. Matt Grote making his mark for the Tigers in 2018. Joining the club this year, he's been restrained on the leash through injury up until now, but they've let him loose today, Dave.
They sure have, and I tell you what, he is, I don't know that I've seen a player have this much impact in such a short period of time. He is out here to prove a point. He is linked with Melbourne. I mean, the Tigers have got him a great purchase from Central Queensland. As we say, he's played NRL before, and he is looking to get back there. You can tell that, and if he can maintain this, if he's got enough gas in the tank to keep going and going, then he'll have a major impact on the game. This will have a major impact too. A penalty for inside the 10 metres. And the Tigers now with another chance to go back on the attack.
Well, I think the other thing about Grote is you've got to remember Dave Tyrrell hopefully will be back from injury as well. He's had a stop-start season, but if they can get their best front row out there, the Tigers, it's going to be fairly formidable.
And if you can have three front rowers, Warren, if you've got Kafusi, as you say, Tyrrell and Grote, then that's a great rotation.
Here's Foster coming back to the short side. Can't link up with Piera. Salter at dummy half. James Salter. Oh, there's been a mistake in the play the ball. That's a deadly error. Foster, I think it was just fumbling the ball as he played it.
Yeah, well, Mel said the coach was happy at half-time, Gav. I don't think he's too happy at the moment. 3 errors.
Well, that's 2 second, first tackle errors. One early in the first half, one early in the second half, and you just can't. You just got to build that pressure, as you know, boys. You just can't let give easy outs for those things. Here, just a sloppy play of the ball, loose carry there as he was getting up, and that's the way it goes.
So Norths have possession, but they're on their own 20 here. Beattie looking to the left. Williams is calling for it, and Williams has got it. But a good tackle knocks him down. That's Little.
Hold, go to.
Same side they go again.
Right, give space. Go 3.
Beattie comes out of dummy half, stepping and weaving. He is elusive, and he's got his arms free. He's got more than his arms free. Legs kick free as well.
Hold.
Ultimately, to play the ball a little slow though. Dargan turns it inside to Pallavi. Pallavi swinging around on the Little tackle.
Get square. Go.
Beattie goes left to Dargan, putting it up. And Port will come forward and go to the air. Good collision in the air. Port comes away from it. Good take.
Well done by Link Port there. He was under a lot of pressure, went high in the air. He got buffeted as well, but he still retained possession. Carey runs a few more metres to get it out of the real danger zone. This is where you can't afford an error down here. Taking it forward again.
Here. Go 3. Good work.
That's Svensson. Yes, it is. And working their way up 5 metres or so from the halfway line.
Good.
Should be. They'll be able to work it here out there to Link Port to Foster. Foster fires on the outside. McAnally playing on the inside of the number 3 in Piera. They swap positions. Last tackle play. Up this time to Torpy. Bit of pressure this time. One of the few times that Ahern has had to stand his ground. Does well. Was he in the in-goal area? No, the referee says play on. He probably could have done a better effort at that there, Jack Ahern, to make sure his foot was grounded when he took that ball. He just took a step, and that was at the wrong time.
Go 2.
The Devils now to work it out.
Out together.
Shibasaki. Ahern does like to earn a penalty here. A leading penalty. And this will get the Devils back on the attack.
Well, that's the kind of penalty that East were getting in the first half their way. A mistake this time by the Tigers. Let's Norths kick up towards halfway. Dargan puts it right on top of the Tigers' stand roof here.
Wait for the kick.
So North's just short of halfway with Beattie giving it to Jared Dodd.
Now Brayden, get square, Jake. Go 1.
Working out to do your right to 12, number 2.
Working hard, Doyle Manga.
Up now. Here, Jack, Adam. Bring 1. Go 3. He's short in the
good.
Murphy. Block play, Dargan. Out the back to Ahern. And it's called forward too. Just as they thought they were away, a bit of frustration on the far side there for Namila Davui.
Yeah, he was just in front of the ball, I think, floated forward, Murphy. This time to Dargan, holds the pass up, pops it out there to the fullback in Ahern, and in releasing, lets it go forward.
Initially, Davui was so far in front of Ahern, it was as if he was expecting a kick ahead. I mean, he was well ahead. He was dropping back, trying to get behind Ahern.
All the build-up should have been telling him it was going to be a number of plays to then ultimately put him away. All he had to do was stay back and be really sprinting onto the ball. He's overrun that.
We've already had a win for the Tweedhead Seagulls over the Cutters today, 52-24, big score in that Channel 9 TV game. And the other match underway, it's full time in fact, it's the win to the Jets over the Dolphins, 22-16 at North Ipswich Reserve.
Big results there in the Intrust Super Cup. Tigers now, Spencer, that's gone forward as well, that's careless. That is just careless.
Svensson just losing his radar there.
I'm a firm believer that you've got to really concentrate in this game when you're on the ball. And I think too often players just lose that concentration. There are drills you can do to prove that if you are really concentrating, your performance goes up. If you're not, then you're going to have those sort of loose passes. No excuse for that at all.
Head inside.
Loose,
Second
play the
rows,
ball there
walks
before.
in tight link.
You just got to be really on the. When you're on the ball, you really got to be focused on what you're doing. Again, Ahern comes into that back line. He's a very busy fullback. Is Jack Ahern? Comes in the back line. Doesn't mind to come into the middle of the ruck either. They come up through Guy Williams, up over the halfway line. Chance now for the Tigers. Dargan turns it back on the inside. Strong men in the Pallavi who's there for North. They go down a blind side up there to Dargan. Dargan goes to the line, but the defence comes to him, shuts him down.
Now chase!
He went too deep into the line there. He had chances to fire it on the outside. Beattie turns it back on the inside to Guy Williams. Guy Williams almost comes out the other side. Last tackle play. Devils punch down a blind side. They had a good kicking game in the first half. Good kicking game again here. It's been knocked forward by Murphy, I think.
Change over.
Yes.
Change over.
Yeah, that's the call. Again, there are a lot of players moving in various directions there, and anything could have happened. That ball could have ended up in the hands of Murphy cleanly, but it just collected an East Tigers player off his hands, so knock on and turnover. And away go the Tigers now, but McAnally being forced backwards.
Line speed's good.
Carey, back three, getting involved here.
Strong.
Chase Blair hasn't had a lot of ball, but every time he has, he's got very strong. Need to get it into his hands a bit more often. Here's Svensson now.
Help! Release! Hold here. Go three. You know where's O'Shea?
Torpy's going to kick early. This is a 40-20 attempt, but it's not going to go close enough to the sideline.
Kick is through. Thanks, mate.
Shibasaki gathers it in. He's a nice mover, but they've got hold of him. That's good kick chase from the Tigers.
They've got to keep it up. They've got to keep the pressure on for these first few tackles.
Yera, Torpy and Foster down there.
Ashley, move! On the mark. Go to.
Still 12 points all between the Tigers and the Devils here. And we've had 12 minutes of play in the second half. Ahern dummying. Doesn't give it to Dodd.
Get square. Go for.
Tagateezy's off the field at the moment for Norths. He had a pretty big impact early on. Now Murphy. And he kicks for the open spaces between the two Tigers. Gathered in by Carey in front of his post. And Ahern is there to meet him.
Bit of a game of chess at the moment. Who's going to be the first one to blink? Both sides carefully plotting their way up the field, getting reasonably good kicks away, and then applying plenty of pressure with the defence.
Lavi came in hard there on McAnally. Legal, but legally late.
You'll have to explain that one to me later.
Well, he came in after everybody else, but it was still play on.
Tigers run out of dummy half. It's Salter does well, picks up some good meters, good quick play. The ball will help again. Nice one-handed pick up by Linkwood and let the marker catch him. That's the last thing you wanted, was for a marker to get you from there. Little chip over the top, should find touch. It does. So good play overall by the Tigers. But gee whiz, once Linkport went to dummy half there, the only player that was a threat to him was the marker. He's got super pace. Get away from the marker and see what happens from there.
Yeah, it really is a game of chess at the moment.
Yeah, look, it is. It's really tightened up. You know, a couple of errors coming into the game as well, a bit of tiredness coming in also. But a very impressive set of six there from East to get out of their end. You know, that's what they got to do in the first half, where they're having that success, was looking inside balls off Croft and inside runners off Cross, showing inside and going outside. I think if they can get down this attacking zone, that's back to the play they need to be. Get the ball in the hands of those halves and let them try and cut this North Devils defence up.
Yeah, well, right now it feels as if the next try scorer is going to really take a grip on the game, because at the moment they are fighting hard for the upper hand and no one's getting on top.
Hasn't been a lot of attack ball. Both sides are surrendering possession primarily down the other end.
It doesn't feel like we're going to have an avalanche of tries right now. Anything can happen. 26 minutes to go, but here's North trying to work it out of their own half. Pallavi, who's had a good game, laying it back. And Beattie, another player who's been very busy. A good run.
Scott Svensson going off the far side, holding that wrist, boys, too, so that thumb might have just got another jar and he's off the field.
Looks like Greaky coming on to replace him.
So now Brown to play it, just short of halfway. Oh, player in the road, got out of the road. Dargan kicks deep, long for Carey. And the chase is good from North. They've got a line of players down there. And Kerry runs a Dargan, he puts him down.
The arm wrestle continues. Can the Tigers keep their end of the bargain up here now? Linkport fires it up there. Not a lot on here for Shane McAnally. Not Shane McAnally.
Jared
McAnally. Shane McAnally. He played here, Gav, didn't he?
Yeah,
great goal kicker.
A very good man, Shane McAnally.
Legs on him like tree trunks. And could kick a goal too.
Pretty good bustling run there from Piero as well. Now it's with Grinke. It's all hands on deck, both teams right now. Croft goes to the line quickly. Picks up Kafusi. Can't break the line. Good play, good defence. Big collision. 5th tackle now. Goes to Croft. Croft chips back inside. Port's chasing. It's off the boots, I think. Oh, no. Murphy knock on. Thought it might have come off his ankle, but it got a touch.
Croft, it was an interesting angle that he kicked it back on because he was always going to put it back to where players would be, but it was such a good little grubber kick that it bounced awkwardly there for Murphy.
Just stayed down enough, didn't it? Did not pop up as he was hoping.
Awkward, Gav, those, aren't they?
Yeah, look, first real attacking opportunity that he's got, put an attacking kick in, I should say, and they come up with a result. A very awkward kick. It just did stay down. Warren, exactly right. Just didn't get down to it. Eventually those balls do pop up, but not on that occasion, and Murphy just didn't quite get down. I think he knocked it on the second occasion, firstly off the knees and then off the hands.
Well, is this the turning point?
Yeah, well, the best chance they've had in this second half, undoubtedly. They've shown in the first half they're good enough. They get some good attack ball.
Comes out to Torpy. Now Piero stops, goes again. Change of pace, trying to beat his man on the outside.
It does well to stay well in the field of play.
McAnally dummy half, wide pass, getting some width in it, but Torpy throws the dummy. Didn't like what he saw on the outside. They weren't quite in the good structure, but Grinke wants it. No, he's the decoy. Croft, Kriya. They've got it to centre field without really asking any questions yet.
Release! Go, that's 3.
Kafusi's on the right. So is Croft. Croft fires a pass, but it's left behind. Croft goes back, picks it up.
Play on, 6 to go.
And 6 again, so North's had a hand in there. Grinke tries to break the line himself. North's hold out. 5 metres out. The referee signals 6 again. Again, it's Piero. Piero, late pass. There's a chance here for Foster. Foster's in for the Tigers. Jake Foster breaks the deadlock. Scores a good try. The Tigers 16, the Devils 12.
Well, Pierre's a good young kid, this left centre. He's only young. He might only be about 18 years of age, so he'd be one of the youngest playing in the Intrust Super Cup. And he did well after Torpy gets the ball here, pops it back on the inside. Now look at the work he has to do. Comes off the right foot, bounces from 1, 2, gets just enough to get Foster on the outside. The winger wasn't sure what to do, nor was Shibasaki, and the Tigers finally capitalise off well, some good individual play. Really, there was nothing on here, and it took a very, very good individual effort here by Piero to cut away, to create the opportunity that prior to that didn't exist, and Foster, the skipper, good enough to capitalise.
Yeah, and Piero, you know, he is a great talent. They've been nurturing him along. He's in the Melbourne system last year in their 20s. He came through the East Juniors system, played here. I was fortunate enough to coach him for a season or so in the under 20s before he did go to Melbourne. They've got very high prospects and high hopes for Piero, and you know, he showed all of his skill and ability there. You might remember that previous run in the earlier set of 6 where he little stop start and just trying to get on the outside. He's strong up top. He's got the ability to defend. He can do those in and away. So you know, he's got all the attributes of a good attacking player, and he showed them all there.
And I like, Gab, is he 18? Is he that young?
I think he's 19, David.
Yeah,
he was in the Queensland under 18s.
Yeah, well, it's a great effort for a young kid, and he's certainly got some ability, and that showed it there. He created that himself.
Well, every kick counts, particularly these from the sideline. Torpy has 2 from 2. And it's coming back, but not enough. So conversion fails. The East Tigers 16 lead the North Devils 12. And we've still got 20 minutes remaining in this exciting match.
But of course, you can simply save this number on your phone. 133 222, and a black and white cab will come straight to you. That's 133 222.
Yeah, tell him. Yeah, tell him it's not the spirit of the game. Stay on side!
An exciting last quarter of the match about to unfold as the kick is a swirling kick from O'Hearn, and very well taken in the end by Kerry. He had to come forward a long way as that one curled away from him. We've seen a variety of attacking kicks from both teams today. Those dropouts in the first half were a bit of unorthodox from the Tigers, but effective, and that kick-off from North showing their intent to get the ball back. But here's the Tigers up to halfway. Good run from Salter. Port goes up to dummy half. Croft calls for it inside to Grenke. Grenke, a former Norths player. Was in the Broncos system at one point, Brett Grenke. Up it goes. And a pressure on Shibasaki, but he stands his ground beautifully. Good body position and took it well.
Yeah, well done Shibasaki, because he was under a lot of pressure. There was a good kick by Torpy to make sure the chasers could come through at that exact point in time when he was going to try and take it. But again, the arm wrestle continues. Sure, the Tigers have just got the upper hand now with that 4-pointer that's got them out in front. But this game is really being played in their own halves to a large extent, and the Norths now trying to work their way back out of their own half. That O'Hearn, I think he wants to either be a dummy half or a halfback. He spends most of his time up there. He's a very, very busy fullback.
Good work here from the likes of Nuval McGreal and Tuasau. Also Doyle Manga.
Dargan, good kick downfield there. Picked up there by Linkput. You don't have to throw that ball, son. And he doesn't. It was just a dummy. Had me worried. Carey to waltz into dummy half. He's a good strong runner, this kid. Turns it back on the inside. That's McAnally. I like the way he comes in, as all wingers should do these days, to help out in the middle. They didn't do it in my day. Back on the inside then again to Carey, I think it is. Again, a very good aggressive runner. The Tigers get their way up over the halfway line. Been pretty impressive this. Salter, Croft just didn't have the time to pop that pass back on the inside. He's out of play now, is Brody Croft. Torpy takes over the controls. Pass this time up there to Ash Little. Last tackle play, so again they've got him down in this area of the park. Torpy's the good high kicker. This time not a spiral kick, but plenty of pressure again. Player knocked out of the road and a penalty.
McAnally was chasing through and knocked sideways. Down he went.
It's careless play by the Devils if he's taken him out there. You've got to have faith in your receiver to take the ball cleanly.
Well, particularly when they've been catching them beautifully all day.
Yep.
And this was another one that was safely taken.
Slight change in his line. Number 11 in Nevaeh McGreal. I would say penalty warranted.
Now Guy Williams is leaving the field. Looks like he's taken a knock. Escorted by the trainer.
Tigers, as expected, will take the tap. They've got a good 4-point lead. They could have tried to protect it for 6, but I think this is the right call, providing they can execute. Tigers this time up there to Foster, who scored the last try. Trunnels his way forward, gets it inside the 10 metres. Salter to look after the dummy half duties while Oswald is having a spell. This time the pass up there to Kafusi. Kafusi out to Brad Croft. Nice passes it was too. Got it out on the outside, but good defence. Tigers again to try and punch down that right hand side. Just can't get through. The dummy half. This time up here to Torpy. Torpy back on the inside. Finds support in Grinky. Running out of tackles. Up there to Kafusi. Kafusi toys with them at the defensive line. Surges at the last minute. Last tackle play. In goal will do you. In goal and another set of 6. Well, he's going with the trial. Even better. He's lost it. He's lost it over the try line. Was that Little?
That's Little was so close.
Well, they went forward. He got across the line, but the defence just good enough in the end to cause a lost ball.
You're dead right. They wanted it in goal, and they very nearly got it there through Ash Little. But unfortunately for the Tigers, down it went, and East, well, more to the point, North breathes a sigh of relief.
Rushing defence to work in the Tigers.
Another look at that rush there. Kafusi held the ball up in the bottom right-hand box. Replay box, we could just see where Ash Little went so close as they came back to the right-hand side off Salter.
Runs the crash line. does well, but just couldn't handle. The Devils working out there. That's Ahern, fires the pass on the outside.
Well done, Chase Blair. Good tackle.
Terrific tackle by Blair. As Warren said, he hasn't done a lot in attack lately. They haven't gone right-hand side very often. The Devils again. You can still see they've got an exceptional chance to win this match. Only 4 points in it. Up there to Murphy. Murphy's a good, got a very good kicking game, but this time puts it straight in the lap of McAnally.
A little bit of push and shove between Murphy and Salter.
Murphy was the man who'd kicked the ball, so he must have ejected either to that action or him following the kick. This time, the Tigers working up to the 40-metre line. Salter does well, fires up to Brady Croft, back on the inside, a good ball, so they're putting a few variations on. Tigers again, big, strong ruck this here by Harley Aoni. Down that blind side, Salter up there to Brady Croft, chip over the top, pressure on Ahern. He's all over the place, Ahern. He's certainly up in the attacking line, but back in the defence when required.
Yeah, once again, great body position, hip and shoulder protecting the ball. Now he's a dummy half, and the North try to work it out of the territory which they've been spending too much time in. Their own 20. They've been anchored down this end of the field for the last 15 minutes. Shibasaki tries to cut back through the ruck. Away it goes from Dargan. He found support there. Pollock trying to get to his feet quickly. Knocked back down. No penalty. Now there is a penalty.
Ooh, that's costly. That is costly.
I think he milked it a little bit there, Pollock, but he got away with it. There was the extra half a shove from the Tigers in the first place. I think he'd got away with it up till then. So now Murphy tries to settle his troops down. They're only trailing by 4 points here, Norths.
Here's the infringement in the play the ball. He just he never even got anywhere near his feet. He just got up and flopped.
So he might have actually just touched the ball accidentally in the end. Anyway, Norths have the ball, and now it's time for the Tigers to defend. And it's getting close to now or never for the Devils. Hit and spin from Tanoa Brown. Murphy calls for it, goes back inside to Ahern, tries to find a way through the middle of the ruck, but it closes on him. Only 10 metres out though. Pass to the left-hand side, but it's been knocked on, lost, and down it goes. So a breakdown there for North when they're in very good attacking position.
And they seem to have a good structure to exploit a little bit of a sparse defence, so North are the ones who brought themselves undone more so than a pressurising defence. The Tigers with great relief to bring it out of their own territory. They were under some pressure then. Aoni over the halfway line, good strong raise, a fresh man. Harley Aoni, and now's the time for the big fresh guys to really get those charges up. Torpy lets one go, fires the pass out there to Croft, up here to Linkport. Defence covered that pretty well, but again, the Tigers have picked up some extra territory. And have they got the capacity to put on another play from here, or will it be a settler? Up there to Brody Croft, up there to Kafusi. Kafusi just will take it to the line. They're set now left and right. Croft popped it out the back door, fires it up there to, I think, Salter. Salter on the outside of Piera. Piera at the step again. Oh, it's been knocked down by North. Should be 6 again. Should be 6 again to the Tigers.
Well, Piera moving well, stepping in and out, and trying to set up his winger McAnally, but did it go off a North's hand or not?
I thought it did, but I
thought it might have just gone behind McAnally.
Let's have another look.
Look, he tries to step both ways here, and half beats the first tackle.
It was tapped.
It looked like a North's hand, didn't it?
Yeah, the way that ball spiralled away.
Who's got, no, it's going to be Murphy feeding the scrum, so it's not the way the touchy saw it.
Murphy's Law.
Well, the Devils had a chance a moment ago and bombed it. Now they get the ball back, but they're again inside their own 20.
That's a huge call in the context of this game. Tigers must defend. You've got to rush up here. Can't let them get easy territory.
And away goes the big number 10.
Lost it.
To Asau. Another mistake that's a coach killer. Now here's Chase Blair. He's carting it forward, helping out the forwards. They're only 10 metres out. They've got to play with control here, the Tigers. Keep their foot on the throat. Grote makes a few metres. Salted dummy half. Kafusi. Torpy goes to the line. Oh, Foster had it on his hands. Just had to hang on to it and he would have been over. He was halfway through the hole. So both teams making crucial errors here. The game's still in the balance.
Yeah, the Tigers' errors today would be sky high. They made some simple ones as well. We've just had to grind it out.
We've said a number of times that mistakes might come back to haunt the Tigers. It also applies to Norths, but here are Norths. They've got a bit of a surge here. Tigers retreating. Got to get back 10 metres. Quick play the balls away from Gahan. They're playing the ball. Callum Gahan, the former North Queensland under-20s hooker at one point. Fires it to the left. Murphy. Back to Gahan. Callum Gahan. And ahead goes Kanua Brown. A lot of talk in the North defensive line at the moment. Shuffling. Murphy goes to the line hard and pops it up for Jared Dodd running the line, but well tackled. Now Murphy again tries to thread it through. It's knocked on or lost or still alive. What's happening?
Get up.
He's going to say play it.
He's short of the line.
But who's got it? Norths have got it. That'll be 6 more surely. As Dargan throws a dummy, goes through the hole, tries to get it back inside, still got it, lost it.
Great tackle, Adam Freer. Oh, he's punched. There was a punch thrown there by Dargan.
Well, that was a punch or a palm, but he certainly got Blair in the face. Dargan with the vertical palm, I think.
I think they've banned those. You're not allowed to slap or anything anymore, are you? So this will be interesting. What a tackle by Adam Blair. It looked
Chase
like
Blair.
Adam Creer, I should say. There's.
See, at that point,
that was play on from there.
North dived on
knocked on by Port. Looks like the referee's going to just play on here, so it'll be a Tigers feed. Here's that great tackle by Creer. And certainly lost ball by Dargan.
Well, Dargan definitely lost it. I mean, it's a point of when's the tackle complete there. He's still on his knees, but the ball's come out of his hand.
Okay, well.
Anyway, referee's called knock on. Now the Tigers have lost it. Foster's put down 2 in a row. Oh, it's a calamity-a-thon.
You can't go back to advantage, sure. Oh, he is. He's going to go back to the first knock on after there'd been, at least one pass in the return run.
Well, you just can't lose the ball first tackle here, as Foster did.
I think that's an extreme advantage play.
Yeah, I mean, I think the referees should play that as advantage, but they often don't.
Yeah, I can't see that's a fair advantage. The Tigers have lost the ball. North got a hold of it. Had at least one pass in a good position to attack from. It wasn't a panic station play. All the time in the world, and they knocked it on. Anyway, double knock.
So Murphy's feeding this scrum, and Norths have a chance. They're trailing by 4 points here, and there's 7.5 minutes to go. It's a Hearn out wide. Cutting back inside, looking for support now, trying to change direction, and the Devils can't find a hole. Tigers come from everywhere. It's Kafusi with the tackle. To the left they go. Dargan feeding it off to Doyle Manga. No, it's to Noah Brown there. To Noah Brown 10 metres out.
Go to Marcus.
Dargan. Murphy outside him, kicks for his winger and gathered in by McAnally beautifully. He's run it back into the in-goal area and he's out again. He's escaped. Great work by McAnally there. If that was another foot further, he might have been in real trouble with the winger streaming through here.
Farnworth was certainly storming through. Beautiful kick again it was by Murphy, but even better by McAnally. It wasn't called as taken on the full in-goal area, so he had to do even some more hard work to get his way out of his own territory. So the Tigers absolutely essential to secure possession here. We're inside the last 10 minutes. This is when you can grind out a win from here. This is when you don't give the opposition anything. Back to Torpy, he's going for a 40-20, don't put it out on the full side, now he has it, he's got the 40-20! What a great kick by Braden Torpy, I should say. What a great kick, just inside the 40. He rolled the dice. I thought for a moment it might have sailed out. Turning point, Gav?
Yeah, look, absolutely. You know, that's where the Tigers need to be on the attack here. You know, they do have that wind advantage. We probably haven't mentioned that very much at the moment. And back onto the action.
They don't take the 2. You could have pretty much secured a draw at least, if not the win. Tigers to go on with the job.
Yeah, Foster playing it, and now Kafusi swings it wide. It's behind Torpy. It's been lost and picked up by Pollock, and what a waste that is. Second tackle.
Dear.
That is very poor game management by the Tigers. I'm with you, David. I would have taken the 2, but nevertheless,
well, there's not extra time
even if you do take the tap, you've got to put it together better than that. So North, now TigerTV's out there again, and he gets it back to Ahern. Ahern, a late pass is good as well. Murphy, besides he doesn't like the left, he'll go the right. Dargan.
Got to defend your errors. That's what you got to do, no matter what.
Both teams still going strongly. 5 minutes to go. 16-12 in favour of Easts. And charging up the middle is Tanoa Brown.
No penalties.
Gahan to Murphy. Up the middle goes Pallavi. Halfway through, desperate tackle. Ahern is there in support. Ahern's still going. Good football by North. The crack's starting to appear. 5th tackle coming up. It's Murphy. Goes to the line, chips it through. McAnally's there again. He saves the day for the 2nd time.
Well done, Jared McAnally. Reading that beautifully. He's a real threat, Todd Murphy, with his kicking game.
Well, we know McAnally's a great attacking winger.
Oh, he's lost it.
Oh, it's been lost. Can you believe it? Svenson's. No, not Pierre, I should say. Richard Svensson.
It was Pierre.
Pierre has lost it. Well, the door opens again for North, and both teams have made some basic critical errors here in the last 10 minutes, repeatedly.
Yeah, he's done well to get some territory, Pierre, but then you've got to hang on to that ball like it's your most valued possession, because right at the moment it is.
Yeah, indeed it is, and you know, it's do or die time here. You know, this potentially could be his season here. I know it's early in the year. They really need a win to get back to 50% with their win-loss. So they really need to defend this set here. Let's see how they go.
And we'll have it back into the scrum again. Still time off, says the referee, with the clock at 4 minutes 20 and ticking. 16-12 in favour of the Tigers. Norths have had a number of chances and blown them, but they keep coming back again. Tanoa Brown.
He's been hard to handle.
He's worked very hard in the second half. Pallavi has been dangerous every time he's touched it. Those two have been very prominent for North. Gahan dummy half, gives it to Murphy. And TigerTV cutting through, reaches for the line, and he's over. Sam TigerTV has scored the try. And this is going to level the scores at 16 all with the conversion kick to come, not too far from the post. So North with a real chance here to pinch the game late.
Well, you've got to take TC a lot of credit there, because there wasn't a lot happening off this pass from Murphy. He just served it up to him and said, do your best. Murphy has controlled the game very well today, the number 7. His kicking game's been excellent. His passing game's been very strong as well. Just put it out the back. Was there any obstruction? Probably not. The number 14 just went far enough through the line, and Jared Dodd not to cause any obstruction to the defence, other than perhaps a visual one. I thought for a moment there could have been an obstruction call, but they probably got it right. But it was a bit too easy. You had to tackle like your life was depending on it.
Well, Pierre came up quickly from the left centre position, but missed the tackle. Not only missed, but didn't make any contact at all to dent his progress.
Oh, he's in behind that the 14 there. I've seen them pulled up before.
Yeah, might have just been far enough forward there, 14 to 14 for North in Dodd for it not to be called. I tend to agree, Gav. You've seen those before. Obviously, they haven't got the advantage of going to the bunker or anything. They could have come up to us. We could have given them a call.
Looking around the boxes, thumbs down, surprisingly.
Well, what an important kick. 3 minutes to go in the match. Murphy, who's had a very strong game, driven the ship nicely, kicks this, puts them in front. So we've got a 18 points to 16 ball game.
And it's those conversion kicks of Murphy's that have made the difference. 2 in the first half from the sideline, and that one much easier for him. But North hit the lead, 18 points to 16 on the season.
Proud sponsor, Rorig Construction Specialists.
Game is going to rue some of the mistakes that have been made, a few basic errors, really mental errors, concentration errors from a number of players from both teams, but the one that paid a price was Pierre dropping the ball.
Well done by Murphy.
Scoring. Norster got possession.
Positioned himself well to be the receiver there, did Murphy. And he's got a bit of a breather here now, bit of gamesmanship.
Yeah, but Dave, you know, from those kickoffs, these players are close enough. They've got a challenge for that football. If they knock it on, so be it. But they've got to make a contest there. You know, Murphy got really an unobstructed go at that football.
Yeah, that two-player, you're right, Gav. Two players got there. The whole reason you're putting that short kick up is to try and get it back at this stage.
Yeah, you've got to get a hand up there to, if not knock the ball, at least distract the catcher.
He ended up going about 20 metres, so, or maybe a bit less, maybe about 19 metres. So had it been back a little bit further, pressure would have been easier, but they still got there, the Tigers. And
we've got 2 minutes remaining in the game. It's North's 18, East 16.
Hold, go to.
Devils again to work their way out of there. They'll play it nice and safe. Pallavi. We've got less than 2 minutes to go now, so they'll work this one up. There won't be anything too fancy. Little pass back on the inside using the big men. They've punched up that middle well to Asal. Back on the inside this time to Noah Brown. He's had a good game. Been very hard to handle on those inside runs as they just keep working this short side. Oh, I don't think that's such a great play, son. Out in the full, come back to a changeover. If you ever want to change around quickly, that's it. And I don't even agree in those situations by these guys kicking into touch. I don't think it delivers you the advantage you could get by pocketing them, taking another 10 or 20 metres. Has given the Tigers a real chance.
Well, this could be the last time the Tigers have their hands on the football. Foster gets it to Piera, stepping back up towards halfway, but Norsa there in numbers. Look at them come from everywhere like meat ants.
That's why you've got to go back the other side now.
Well, 5 of them in the tackle.
Stretch them
Torpy should know there's space to the right. Grote goes up the middle, gets a late offload off. Brilliant hands there from Little. Now Foster. 40 metres out.
Good quick play, the ball will go right. Get a staggered line, a couple of dummy runners.
Torpy trying to get it out to the space, and he does. Now Croft gives a nice pass out, and they've hung onto it just.
Blair.
Juggled by Blair, but he got it back. 30 metres out.
Do it again this way.
2 tackles to go.
They're very flat.
Last chance cafe for the Tigers. Torpy out the back. Gives it to Aono. He spins around. He's in the centre of the field. It's a last tackle. Will they put a bomb up or will they run it? Croft decides to run it. Piera can't hold on to it. It was a short, sharp pass fired at him and he couldn't hold on to it. And I think the siren has gone. It has. It's full time in enemy territory. Northern Suburbs, the Devils have defeated the East Tigers 18 points to 16. And right at this moment, I'm thinking the Tigers will be ruining their decision to take a tap rather than take that shot for penalty goal about 5 minutes ago.
Absolute certainty to take that. You secure a 6-point lead, you can still race back and do more damage after that. You put the opposition on a bit of a downer. That left Norths in the match at that stage. They would have been heroes if they'd scored, but they didn't. And really, East, when I look back on the game, they've had more opportunities in this game than Norths, and they have maybe made an error on almost 50% of the good chances the boys have had. They did all the hard work, Gav, and
Dave,
didn't do the easy bits.
Dave, we've called it during the match. You know, I can give you 4 exact opportunities. 2 clean line breaks in the first half that came to nothing, and 2 drop balls over the line. 1 by Foster, 1 by Little in that second half.
Yep.
That would have, you know, potentially sealed the match. I can't say that it would have at that stage, but you know, certainly it gets them out to a greater than a converted try lead, which in the way the game finished up, back and forth with those handling errors, you know, most likely would have got them home.
Yeah, it's really one that's definitely got away from the Tigers, and there's going to be a lot of shaking of heads in the dressing room at that second half performance, I think. The errors, the basic errors, the lack of concentration critical positions on the field at critical times in the game with the scoreline the way it was. They've really let themselves down in that second half.
But particularly in the time they were making the errors, like in the first and second tackle, they didn't even give themselves an opportunity to get to 4 or 5 before they made the error, and that was still bad enough. But it's on those very early tackles and just concentration errors, I call them, Warren. Just getting up, a poor play of the ball, just a loose carry, those sorts of things. You just got to be more desperate than that. And East were desperate today. They needed to be desperate. They showed that in the first half where they skipped out to that good lead, but they just didn't show that not the desire, but perhaps just the concentration's not there. I don't think fitness is an issue. They looked like they ran the game out as well as Norse did. So it's just, you've just got to put it down to mental lapses and just, and some of it was young players, some of it not so young players. So there's no rhyme or reason exactly to why that occurs.
And really, that first 20 minutes of the second half was a real arm wrestle. It was a really good game of footy where either the sides weren't making too many errors at all. East got that first try, which was so important to get your nose in front after really fighting hard for 20 minutes, and then just weren't in a position then to go on with the job. And I agree with you, Gav. It's about concentration. You really got to concentrate when you're on the ball. If you're not on the ball, it's a bit like a golfer. When you play your shot, really concentrate. But then you walk for the next... Well, for me, I have to walk not very far to get the next shot, but you've got time to then relax. You don't think about the game while you're going for your walk, and that's what happens here. If you're not on the ball, sure, you can ease off it, but when you're on the ball, when you're getting up to play the ball, you have to say, the only one thing I've got to do now is play this properly. That's all you got to do.
Well, I think the worst errors were those ones late there where the game was in the balance, coming out of your own half, as you say, second tackle, in possession, carrying the football. You've just got to lock it up. You cannot allow them to hit the ball, hit your arm. You can't be allowed. There were a few attacking errors they made where the timing wasn't quite right, or the forward pass near halfway where the timing wasn't right. But again, there's concentration factors, particularly the man receiving the football, as you say, David. If you've got the football or you're about to receive it, you've got to get it right.
I'd look at that side if I was coach and say, look at the potential. You've got to have potential to create what the Tigers did today. You can't just be not a good side. So they're a very good footy team. There was a good team that went out there today, but they hardly finished. Well, they only finished a few. They had so many chances to go on with the job, and that'll be very disappointing.
I'm thinking of two. After they did take the tap 20 metres out rather than go for the penalty, they tried on the second tackle to go to the right. The pass went behind the centre, I think. Secondly, and on the left-hand side, when Piera once, I think, threw it over the sideline behind McAnally, we thought it might have been a North's hand. Yep. Referee and the touch judge were close at hand, didn't see it that way. There's two attacking errors where it just didn't quite come together, but yeah, I don't know.
And sorry, Gabby, if you look at the north side,
we all want to get a word in here.
If you look at the north side of they didn't create as many opportunities, but they were far more clinical in what they did. And I think Murphy was terrific in that regard. He's a cool head.
Yeah, look, I absolutely agree, David. They seemed to be more set in what they were doing. They did it more calmly, I suppose, the North Devils. But I go back to you right at the start of the telecast or the broadcast, Warren, where you mentioned half a dozen changes to the side, developing different players coming in, developing combinations. Young Kia Pierre only played 2 or 3 A-grade games. Chase Blair back for his first game. They've had Kafusi out for a couple of weeks as well. The backup hooker for them in Salter has played a handful of games as well. Been around the club for a number of years and went quite well, I thought, today. But I didn't think the combinations perhaps were just quite there yet with those changes. And it's perhaps just a work in motion for them.
Yeah, I agree with what David said. I think if you step back a little bit from the emotion of the Tigers losing and the importance of the game to win for them, it wasn't a bad performance, and North's performance was a pretty good performance as well. There were as you say, David, there was a bit of potential, there was a bit of creativity, there was some pretty good football played, but all too often it broke down. But overall, there was this sense that there was a little bit reckless from the Tigers, not enough iron grip control, particularly when you're leading the game. When you're leading the game, 16-12, you've got to play like front runners. You've got to play smart and not play risky or give the opportunity back to Norths to have a crack at you.
Yeah, I just think they created enough to win it, and it was the fundamental errors. It wasn't always high. Sometimes you get in a game and a place crashing toward the line and 3 blokes hitting. Well, you lose the ball. You're outnumbered and outmuscled. But really, there was a number of times there when the Tigers had just fundamental errors and surrendered possession. They're the ones that hurt the most, and they're the ones that you don't. They're unforced errors. There was a number of unforced errors out there, and the Tigers will rue this one. Credit to Norse, don't get me wrong. I think it was a good game of footy, apart from the fact that East blew a couple of really red-hot chances. I mean, there was a lot of good football played in the game, and Norse, to their credit, hung in there. They were the ones who were behind. They were the ones having to chase. So I think Murphy was terrific.
Well, I think to add to what Norths were doing, you think twice McAnally made very good saves.
Yes.
Because the pressure was being applied, mainly by Murphy with those kicks. But Norths were in position, through some good hard running from their big men. Then they would go to the one or other of the halves, Dargan or Murphy, and they were applying the pressure. Now, the East were just managing to get out a couple of times, so you could see Norths were coming to get them, and the Tigers opened the door and said, have another shot at us.
And as we said, I mean, their kicking game today was terrific, Norths, really. They applied a lot of good pressure from the kicking game.
We should just say, as you can see on the TV, a women's competition game has just begun. Mel Tabé, who are we playing out here, the Tigers?
Yeah, so we're playing Burleigh Bears tonight. The girls have just started, so it should be a cracker of a game.
Who would be favourites there, Mel?
Oh, that's a pretty tough one. I don't want to be biased with my selection.
No, don't be biased. That's right. We have been all day.
I'd love to see. I'd love to see our East girls get up. They are on top of the table at the moment, which is really good.
Who would be a couple of the Tigers players who we should keep an eye on here as being stars of this team?
Yeah, so keep an eye out for Vanessa Falaki, which is wearing our number 12 jersey at the moment. She's one of our Gillaroos.
Just made a tackle.
Correct. Yeah, she has just also been named in the New South Wales country team, which will take place in the Women's National Championship.
Anyone else?
Yeah, so we've got Karina out there who is our fullback. So you see her you can't really see her right now. She's just behind.
Who's that again?
Karina Brown.
Right.
Yeah, she's also another... Yeah, is our Queensland captain.
Yeah. What's the stage of this competition? Are we halfway through, or what's the situation, Mel? About halfway? Okay, so it's about halfway through. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah.
What's the last tackle here for Burleigh? We might see a kick downfield to Karina Brown here. No, they're going to run it on the last, and running it pretty effectively too, but that should be a handover. It is, so yeah. And so, at this stage of the comp, how are the Tigers faring?
Yeah, so they're on top of the table at the moment.
What about
they're doing
Burleigh?
Really well.
How are Burleigh travelling?
Yeah, so Burleigh are in 4th place.
Okay.
They're in 4th place at the moment. So we've got East Tigers on top. We then have Brothers Ipswich, the Panthers after that, Burleigh, Souths Magpies, and then Toowoomba.
Certainly some strong play. You can see that they've got certainly the skills of the game, those flat rucks and driving defence, as you can see there. So the girls, they certainly rip in.
Oh, they definitely do. No doubt about that. And you'll find a lot of the girls will be absolutely trying their hearts out, all trying to get an NRL contract for the end of the year.
So what's happening there? I presume they must have scouts around. Well, have they looking at various games and seeing who they're going to select?
Yeah, correct. So at the Women's National Championship, there'll be 6 teams playing in that. I'm sure there'll be details to be released shortly.
Yeah, and that, they're obviously being paid to make that those top-level teams.
So for the Women's National Championship,
yes.
I'm not exactly sure about that one.
Okay.
But there will be a scout. There will be a day before that starts, where there'll be anyone who hasn't received a contract, one of the NRL top 40 contracts, will get their chance.
Oh, here's a break downfield.
Beautiful backup as well by the number 6. Zagging going again. Try line in line now. Support as well. Out to the number 11. Sorry, Love, I don't know your name.
Try of the year.
What a good try by Burleigh. What a good
that
try.
Was a great piece of football by Burleigh.
Okay,
well here at Tiger TV. Oh, there we go.
Chelsea Lenarduzzi. Well, my granddaughter's named Chelsea, so that's fantastic. Chelsea, great to see you score that try. What a good backup too. This is the key. You can make a break, but you've got to have backup. And the Chelsea, well done. backing up nicely. One-handed put down. More support as well. The 4 and the 2 there as well.
Well, I want to know who number 13's name was, because that was a mighty fine break as well.
Number 13. We'll see if we can find out number 13 as well for you.
But we're going to, on Tiger TV, if you're at home or wherever you are on your phone watching, we're going to keep the women's game running here, so you can keep an eye on that. David, Gavin and I are going to wrap things up as far as the Intrust Super Cup game goes in just a moment.
Number 13 was Talisha Harden.
Talisha Hagen, a name to watch, definitely.
Talisha Harden, yes. So well done, Talisha, for setting up that try for Chelsea.
All right, as far as the Tigers go today, the East Tigers men in the Intrust Super Cup defeated 18 points to 16 by Norths. Last word, Gavin?
Yeah, look, I think they've got plenty to work with there, as we saw. You know, if they can just get some consistency and with players in the team, get those couple of other bigger name players back, I think there's still a promising season ahead for the Tigers.
David?
Couldn't agree more. I think it's a very good footy team. They didn't get the results tonight. I think there's an enormous amount of potential there. We're just going to shut down those areas and complete. I mean, realistically, they should have won by a dozen points. You know, they had more than enough opportunities to win this comfortably. It's a big one not to win, because as we said, that means the Tigers, I think, stay on 6 points.
Already outside the top 6.
Yeah,
and
the Devils go to 12,
yes.
So you know they'll be right up around 3rd or 4th. So there's a gap happening there now. It's still early in the season. What are we, about 1/3 of the way through? So there's a lot of football to be played in this season yet. There's a lot of potential in that Tigers side, and I think we're going to see them win more games than they lose for the remainder of the year.
Exactly, and North's you know, one of the better sides in the comp, obviously, on results to date, so a good win for them, and the Tigers just some work to do to get back into that top 6. That's it from Suzuki Stadium for today. Thanks to all our Tiger TV team. We should have, unfortunately, I should have mentioned it during the game earlier too. We want to send our very best wishes to Mike Higginson. And Mike was part of Tiger TV last year. He's suffering ill health at the moment. Mike, if you're still with us this afternoon, because I'm sure you would have been watching the game, we send our best wishes to you and all the best, mate. The rugby league world needs blokes like you, so good luck, Mike, with your battle.
What a great historian of the game Mike was. When I sat on a panel that selected the best team for the Queensland Cup into Super Cup for the first 20 years, and Mike was on that panel as well. And his wealth of knowledge that he's got, his information he's got on players, I mean, it was a very structured process. We went through with a number of other people on the panel, but Mike contributed significantly there. I know he's a font of knowledge in terms of the history of particularly the Brisbane Rugby League, loves his West Rugby League, and I must admit I was looking forward to working with Mike this year. He was going to do the commentary again. His health isn't as he wants it to be, so we wish him all the very best, hope for a quick recovery, and hope to see him back at the footy before too long.
Here. And also the commentary team, we'd like to pass on to the Bogan family our condolences on the passing of Sue Bogan, one of the founders of Tiger TV, an integral member of Tiger TV, and we all know how much Sue meant to the East Leagues Club, the East Football Club, and to Tiger TV. And as I said, the Bogan family, they are really the heart and soul of Tiger TV, so our condolences to all of you guys too. That's it for today from Suzuki Stadium. We look forward to the next time we're back. In fact, next week, yes, we believe we will be at Davies Park for the Tigers clash with South Logan, and that's going to be very important.
That's a Sunday, I think, at 3 o'clock. Sunday at 3 o'clock.
So tune in then for Tiger TV.
Just a big thank you to the very kind person who did find quite a substantial amount of money, cash, lying on the ground near the canteen, and that person did hand the money in. Just a big thank you from the owner of the money for your honesty, and from East Tigers certainly for the honesty of handing that in. Could quite easily pocketed the money, but the owner is very, very thankful and grateful for that kind gesture. So thank you to that person, whoever you might be out there, for doing that. The Tigers hit back with a try to number 4, Elizabeth Shelton Edwards. Scores locked at 4-all. Second try to the Royal Bears in this half, number 4, Amber Teague. And a conversion, Royal Bears 8, East Tigers 4. half-time of this women's Division 1 game. Billy Bears lead the East Tigers 8 points to 4. Just another reminder that a baby's bracelet, gold bracelet, the gold plated bracelet was handed in to the PA box. It was found down near the can bar there. It has the word with the name Sienna engraved on the back of it. So that's a baby's bracelet, gold or gold plated bracelet. Come and get it from the PA box if you have lost it.
Good evening, everyone. This is Kelly here. We're going to do some commentary for the women's game tonight, just to cover the second half here. Got with me James Cheeseman as well.
Good evening to everybody watching the live stream of the East Tigers versus Burleigh Bears women's game. It's currently the Burleigh Bears 8 leading the East Tigers 4. And we'll get those try scorers for you in a moment while we can get them. But while we've got you and we've got time at the half time, we'll run through the team list. So Kelly, do you want to run through the East Tigers
I will run
team
through
list?
the East Division 1 women's side here at Suzuki Stadium. We got at number 1, Karina Brown. We're already well familiar with Karina Brown.
The skipper of our side and skipper of the Queensland Barrow side and Australian Jellaroo fullback.
Yes, there you go.
World Cup winner.
And we have on number 2, Keisha Baker. Number 3, Kim Dorr. Number 4 is Elizabeth Shelford Edwards. Number 5, we'll get this right, Taylor Mapusia. Number 6 is Taylor Elleridge. And number 7, Jane Kamita. 8 is Ayla Cook. 9, Kelsey Parkin. 10, Leona Theodore. 11, Nigua Moko Hiku. Number 12, Vanessa Foliaki. 13.
Another one of our Jellaroo and Queensland New South Wales representative who was actually selected this week in New South Wales Countryside, who will take on in the National Championship at Southport in June, which we'll talk about in the second half.
Yes, very good. We have Rochelle Milne
at 13.
And the bench. 14, Keisha Thompson. 15, Shanika Rowland. 16, Isha Sodna. 17, Toikasi Philomohila. 18, Shannon Mato. And 12, Simone Van Din Kibum.
And for the Burleigh Bears at fullback is Kerry Jade Robertson. On the wings, Alicia Lee and Tarnisha Lyons. At the centres, Tasman Gray and Amber Pilley. At 5'8", Zahara Tamara. At halfback is Laken Payati. No, number 8 for the Burleigh Bears. Number 9, Akaya Maguire. And the front row, number 10, Jasina Singapore. In the second row, Chelsea Landa Drazuzzi, who is one of the try scorers. I do remember that. Jasmine Kemp, also in the second row. And Talisha Harden locks a scrum, another one of the, I believe Talisha's played for the Jellaroos, Queensland. Very good player, Talisha Harden. On the 14, Shania Ngati. 15 is Marianne Palabino. Number 16 is Rona Peters. Number 17, Ether Aho. Number 18 is Tyler Birch. Number 19 is Katie Aroa. And number 20 is Shelley Fox. So we said it's 2 tries to 1 at the moment. Burleigh Bears leading 8-4, as you can see on our screen there. We've got 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes left of half time. Come back out in the second half. The East Tigers are actually doing really well this year, Kel. They finished top 4 last year, got bundled out in the second week of the semi-finals. This year, they are sitting very near the top of the table, sitting, I believe, first or second, right up there. lost one game all year, have come behind. No. And we've got Burleigh Bears sitting in 4th position. So I'll bring up the ladder for you in a moment.
Yes,
we'll go through
please
those teams.
Absolutely keen to see that. Good conditions tonight.
Oh, it's beautiful conditions. Very disappointing loss for the men earlier of the East Tigers against the North Steelers. Hopefully the East Tigeresses can turn it around, because these girls have actually, last 3 or 4 weeks, they've actually come behind each time in the second half and just run down the opposition.
They certainly give the men a run for their money at the moment, because they're doing...
They do, and I've got the ladder here for you. The brothers Ipswich are on top, thanks to their different points differential. They've won 4 games and lost 1. They've got the likes of Ali Briganshaw on their side. East Tigers, as I mentioned, 2nd position. 3rd is the West Brisbane Panthers. 4th is the Burleigh Bears. 5th is South's Magpies. They're a new team in this competition. And they've got a few signings. I'll tell you, they picked up Caitlin Moran, who was playing 5'8" for the Gillaroos last year in the World Cup. Played for North Newcastle. She's moved up here to Queensland, as I follow on Instagram. She's come up here to South Magpies. That's a massive pickup for South. They're going to be big. They've recruited very strongly there. And also for Brothers, which Ali Briganshaw, and there's Meg Ward, of course, also for South. So she's come up from New South Wales as well. So they've recruited strongly. And I forgot to mention for Brothers Ipswich, top of the table, they've got CJ Sims. You know, Sims boys. You've got Tarek Sims, Corbin Sims, Ashton Sims. You've got Ruan Sims and CJ Sims. There's 5 of them. They're all playing top-level rugby league. What a family that is. That's just the siblings. And their cousin is Regan Campbell-Gillard, who's playing for Penrith, who tore it up last night, played the full 80 minutes, is probably going to play for New South Wales. Ruan's already in the top 40. Ruan and CJ are in the top 40. So they'll play in the women's national comps. You'll have all these Sims and Campbell-Gillards playing in the top comp. What a family that is. They're like one of the most dominant families in rugby league. You've got to put those guys up there with the Mortimers, the Hughes, going back many, many years, the Sid and Sandy Joe Pierces. I mean, that is astonishing. You've got 5 siblings.
Yeah.
Corbin's with Brisbane. Tarek is killing it at St George. Could be playing for New South Wales. Old Ashton's over at Toronto, playing for the Toronto Wolfpack in Canada in the British Championship system, just under the Super League there.
Wow.
And as Ryan's playing in Sydney, should be playing with the Dragons probably. He's playing New South Wales country, and she plays for Australian CJ, who's played a bit of gridiron and just come back to rugby league, playing for Brothers Ipswich. I mean, that is a sensational family. I love the Simpsons. So, as I was saying before, if you don't know much about what's going on with Women's Rugby League, we've got a new comp this year. The 4 teams are playing in the National Women's Rugby League. You've got the Sydney Roosters, St George Illawarra Dragons, the Brisbane Broncos, and the Warriors, New Zealand. They're going to compete double headers with the men's in semi-finals, and then grand final day, as the curtain raiser to the 2018 NRL Grand Final, is going to be the women's grand final. How good is that to see these women finally get shots on big stage? And in June, the rep weekend, that Friday night, North Sydney Oval, the main game, New South Wales versus Queensland. For the first time ever, it's going to be State of Origin. It's previously been Interstate Series, basically where you live, that's where you played for. Vanessa Foliaki, she was the first one to change it last year. She lived up here, played for East last year. She said, as siren goes in the background, she said, no, I'm going to play for New South Wales. I don't like you, Queensland. I'm going to play for New South Wales. She's turned around, and so State of Origin the first time, North Sydney Oval the Friday night. That's going to be on Channel 9. Channel 9 are broadcasting all the games throughout the season. And before that game in State of Origin, New South Wales residents versus Queensland residents. The best at the Intrust Super Premiership versus the best at the Intrust Super Cup. We'll talk about the talent ID and the pathways, the talent identification coming up. Cal, what have you got to say?
Oh, I was just going to say that, as you see on the screen now, the women's East Tigers side is coming onto the field now. We're just waiting for Burleigh to... Oh, Burleigh is on the other side. My apologies. We're almost ready to go then.
And the women do it slightly differently. Only 35-minute halves compared to 40. Why? I'm not sure. It's a bugbear of mine because New South Wales, their women play 40. We only play 35. So it comes to their origin. You get tired a lot earlier than what they were. And they play unlimited changes.
In this day and age, though, 35 minutes is actually still as entertaining as
it
a
is.
full 40 minutes. It actually makes it more interesting because you have 5 minutes less.
Yes.
The
Hastings Steerings also play 35, as does the Meninga, but I think it should be 40. If you guys are playing 40, we should play 40 if we want to win back this interstate series. As Burleigh rampaging, restart there by number 20, Shelley Fox there. Great stuff from Burleigh Bears.
They're facing a bit of a brick wall there and being forced backwards.
Great defence by the East Tigeresses, as we call them. The East Tigeresses that you got, which is Tigeress is a female tiger, so
yeah,
we call them the Tigeresses. And they're leading the way for the club. They're the second, so they're the highest position out of any club. Most of the men's clubs are struggling for wins. East women are showing it how it's done. We got a penalty there against the East Tigers. Referees called out the captain. Of course, no time off here. We're talking to Vanessa. I think it's Vanessa Foliaki. So she looks like she's skipping today. Usually it's Karina, but Vanessa's taking the captain reins this week. The referees have a bit of a warning there. So we'll just have a look there on the replay, see what we can see. She's bumped off one. Oh, just a bit of a second effort there by number 10 for the East Tigers. The Mona Theodore, who was. So a bit of a second effort there. Can't do that. A bit of a push back around the ground.
No, you got to withhold yourself a bit.
Yep.
Don't let your temper go.
There we go.
Look at that. It's just like a trampoline, just pushing back as they push into it.
As I mentioned earlier, 31st of May down at Southport, Queensland, they're going to have. Sorry?
No, it's tackled by Kim Dorr there, but
yes, they're going to have a national ID talent identification program. So if you've never played rugby league in your life, and you go, I want to play in this women's national rugby league comp. I want to play on the same grounds the men are playing on. I want to play in the semi-finals. I want to play in this women's rugby league. It's the way to go. They pay better than the rugby union because the rugby union they're not really paying. They do, but they don't. It's confusing. Yeah. So I want to play this. I've never played rugby league before. I don't know how to go. Go along to Southport, 31st of May, a national ID comp, and they'll say, well, you're pretty good. We want you come with us. You keep going with us. So that's how it's going. So that's where you go if you haven't played before. But if you have played on between the 1st and 3rd of June, also on Southport down the Gold Coast. So right after the 31st of May, the national ID is on the Thursday. Yep. Right after that, the first.
Well, the ball is now in East possession.
It is. From the 1st to the 3rd of May, there's going to be a 6-team national competition. New South Wales City, New South Wales Country, Queensland City, Queensland Country, the Defence Force.
She did very well now. Karina Brown passes it to Taylor Mapasua.
The Defence Force were playing for the first time ever in this competition. And the affiliated states, because in that Jillaroos team last year, there was a woman from the Northern Territory. People from South Australia playing, they went close to making it. So they're all 6 teams that can compete in Southport.
To Shanika. Chekron. There you go.
So that's what, and then from that competition, the best women will get picked to go with the top 40 that they had earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And then they'll go, and then the squads will go together and pick all the players. And New Zealand are going to have championships as well. So all these women are playing in these Southeast Queensland women's comp. Brothers, Burleigh, Ipswich, West, South.
So
they're all going to go round, as we see a penalty here against Burleigh.
Yep.
They're all going to...
Should have cleared the tackle instead.
Most of them are going to combine to play for Queensland City. Now, I say most of them because some of them will go play Queensland Country, including Steph Hancock. Remember Steph Hancock? She used to play for the East Tigers?
Yep.
She retired from the World Cup last year. She said, I'm retiring. Not true. She's still playing this year.
Shannon...
But she's going to go play for Queensland Country with a few others.
Made a try to get close to the try line, passes it to
watch the attack.
Jana,
we'll go back to the
goes
national
all the way down.
later. To Vanessa Foliaki. Bombs off one.
Oh,
a steamroll the second. Great tackle there by the Burleigh Players player. Karina Brown darts out of dummy half.
Look at that.
Just
struggle.
keeps driving.
She's pushing.
Bit of a line.
They have to be called held. Still got the ball.
Talia Eldridge offloads. Luna Fedor crashes over. And look at that, she's left. Look at that, 1-2 and away. Iona Theodore just crashed over there. Beautiful, lovely little short ball there from Taylor Eldridge. went herself, short ball to Theodore, and went bang, left Burley Bears in the wake.
Should see that in the replay. Look at this.
Eldridge there, dummies, steps one, beats two, beats three. Offload.
Tussle.
Sheldridge not stopping her from that close to the line. That was a great little offload there. I tell you what,
Straight
if
up
East
try.
Tigers can pull this off, this is a massive upset. I don't believe East have beaten Burley in the 2 years. Burley have won 3 titles straight. They're shooting for number 4. This is a superstar team, this Burley Bears side. They're not doing that too well this year. As we said, they're in 4th at the moment. But I tell you what, it could be a massive upset if this comes off today. They almost did it in round 1, fell by 4 points. This time around, it's round 6. We could be seeing a massive upset in the cards here if Vanessa Foliaki puts the ball in the tee.
Yeah, well, she's got a good advantage spot there. It's not exactly straight up.
So as we were talking about
but
before,
it is pretty close to the.
We'll go through his kick and then we'll talk about that national championship because Vanessa's already booked her spot.
I also want to talk about Toowoomba touring the UK. That was in the QRL yesterday.
And also,
look at this. Goes up and through.
Tigers 10-8. We'll have a look at a replay again.
Just
to
to see
run.
that magnificent try.
Inside out.
By Vanessa Foliaki. These Tigers 10.
Taylor Eldridge, she's new to rugby league. Looks like she's been playing forever. I mean, that run, the footwork to just the show and go, the footwork, bit of 4 defenders, and beautiful short offload.
We'd love to know her history then, whether she did a lot of athletics in her younger years.
I'm sure we can find that out. Well, maybe not tonight, but I'm sure we'll find out.
Eventually we will get that. We'll get a full biography of the side as we. This is the sides become more mature, and we'll start to see an eventual full side underneath it, a full grassroots system emerge.
Well, as you say, yeah, the East Tigers, you do some stuff with the East Tigers and you know some things. And the East Tigers have mentioned that in the press recently, that they've said, you know, we want to put the grassroots there, we want to support, not just having these women coming in Intrust in the Premiership. As the East Tigers drop it up there, to Shannon Maito drops it up there. So,
well, as they said, that there's almost a huge gap in the system where girls can play all the way up to 13, and then suddenly where do you go?
Yeah, well, they've introduced that recently in New South Wales Cup. This year they put the final gaps in because there were a few gaps. Because last year they introduced the under 18s, so had an under 18s competition. I can't remember what's it called off the top of my head. Felicia Quinn, no, Felicia Quinn. She's played one. Under 18s competition, which is all the NRL sides. So you get to play for your New South Wales Cup side, New South Wales NRL side.
Yeah.
And you get to play under 18s.
Well, that was Jasmine from the Billy Bears getting into that tackle there, passes it to Zahara, and then onward to Chelsea, number 11, who gets tackled there against a full onslaught of East Tigers, passing it down the line, went through Kerry Jade's hands and onward to Amber. We'll just go Amber Pilly. Needs to grab the ball.
I was saying, so there's a talent ID in 31st of May, then 31st of May to the 1st of June and the 3rd of June.
Media release has said that in few places is the exceptional growth of women's participating in rugby league more evident than in Toowoomba right now.
Well, there you go.
The women's teams in Toowoomba have gone from being self-sufficient and at times struggling for numbers to now being aligned with the Toowoomba Valleys and boasting almost 50 players with teams in Division 1 and Division 2 of the SEQ women's competition. They are also taking the historic step of venturing overseas with a tour of the UK coming in October.
There you go. As Burley Bears, no, it's a penalty against the East Tigers. The Burley Bears have come out. Maybe this is the Eastern Tiger penalty. So, yeah, and
it's a very tight game, this one.
Jillaroo is actually also playing in October. She's gone to the bin! Oh. The try scorer Lahona Theodore has gone to
see
the
that.
sin bin. I want to say replay what this is for.
Look at this. Comes in.
So she's come offside position.
She's getting high. Ah. That forearm came in from the side.
But I mean, yeah, that's not.
It's an unintentional.
It's not a great look, but I don't think it's sin bin worthy.
There must be. Is it?
So yeah,
that. You know, that is an interesting send-off.
Yeah, so it's only 10 bit sin bin, not a send-off. Should be right.
That was. Okay, that was 3 times repeated offence.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense then.
That does make more sense. Karina Brown makes it break up
Discipline
the middle.
needs to. The ref did a good call to show discipline in the game.
So yeah, Meg Ward, who plays for South, we're talking about, she's in the defence force. She's a firefighter in the defence force. So she does that as well, because all these women have jobs as well, because it's not full paying as like the men. So she works in the defence force. So she serves the country as a firefighter in the defence force. Plays rugby league as well.
Yeah, well,
from the Northern Territory, moved to New South Wales last year, and has come up to Queensland.
Well, the women are doing exceptional work, considering it is an opens competition.
And I tell you, women's rugby league has come a long way in the last few years. It is amazing the leaps and bounds this game is coming.
Yes, and it's only a matter of time before, it's not even an afterthought. It's no longer even like distant. It is now almost. It would be within probably 2 years. You'll see the major competition emerge with more teams and a full-fledged side that will probably make primetime television as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there are 4 teams this year. I mean, I saw today Parramatta and I think there was Canterbury, I think, were interested in coming in 2019. Cronulla and South, who some say controversially got left out, they'll come back again in 2019.
Yeah.
There are more clubs who are wanting to do it. Unfortunately, it was announced after most clubs had already set their budget for this year, for 2018. So a lot of clubs couldn't do it because they'd already set their budgets. And they said, oh, we're doing a women's comp. So, I mean, the NRL had planned to do this slowly, not rush it. I mean, a lot of people are saying, bring on an NRL women's comp. There's a WAFL. They're doing great. There's women's Big Bash is doing great. Bring in a women's rugby league. They said, no, we want to do it slowly. We don't rush and get in trouble. Jason King, who works in NRL, said, from what I've seen, these women need a comp. The way they're playing and their attitude for everything, they have to play. I see Belly Bears put in a towering kick and great catch there for the Tigers. Number 5, she spins around there, Taylor Mapusua.
Well, we've seen her get the ball.
And she picks up a penalty there.
Was it a bit high, was it?
No, I'm not sure what it was. As you can see, someone in the crowd saying, what, no sin bin for her. It's good to see some supporters sticking around. Not a lot.
Yeah.
Still some supporters sticking around, so... Oh, yes!
Oh, it is
there we go. Originally, the referee wasn't going to... I don't know he was going to sin bin her.
Same thing.
Same again, too many penalties. The referees had enough, so yeah, push, bit of a second effort there in the ruck. The referee said, we've had enough of that, so we said 12. So it's 12 on 12 for a little bit here. Vanessa Foliaki kicks for touch, picks up about 20 to so metres there, and East Tigers will take tap right on halfway.
He's warned repeatedly, the ref has warned repeatedly in the first half that you keep doing this, and this is the results. If you keep doing it, you're going to get sent off.
I'm going to sit you down. Keep sitting people down. I don't care. Just you have control. Unfortunately, we couldn't commentate that first half. Situations out of our control. Didn't allow us that. We're still rubbing up the Intrust game. This game, we weren't sure it was going to be broadcast. So.
Oh, the moment we saw the camera was sticking around, we were like, oh yeah, we're going to get in.
Yep.
We want to get this out. Tiger TV is a proud supporter of the women's team. It's unfortunate that the teams play at different venues, different times, and
it's unfortunate that they don't have to broadcast the games because we'd love to do more. They're here. I mean, they played here a couple of weeks ago against Brothers Ipswich.
It would be amazing if there was more major teams so the men and women's teams could travel together.
Foliaki on. Back to Talia Eldridge.
Imagine that though. You can come to a game day and see two big teams playing, men's and women's, but you can come. You know that you're not just going to see see one game of football.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying like one major form of
Yeah,
football.
let's have a look at this replay here, because I thought Talia Eldridge had scored the try. Off to Foliaki, out to the centre, back to Eldridge. Unless he's ruled that pass, or did she lose it? Either she lost it or he's ruled it forward. We'll just have to check and see what that was, because I thought she grounded that, but so we'll see. We can pick up something there. She must have been held up there. There's Belly Bears walking away from their own ground. Number 12 is Jasmine Kemp there with the ball. Plays it just over the 40-metre line.
Passes it to... Oh, look at that.
Short kick there for touch, which is interesting when you're behind. What? It's an interesting play there, but the East will get the ball 42 metres
maybe
from their own line.
Burley might have a bit of confidence that they can
Or unless Burley are a bit tired on their feet and they thought, I'll just give you a bit of a break here.
And throw...
And you can see, I think it's Karina Brown there having a chat with the skipper. Karina Brown's the usual skipper. She's having a chat with Vanessa Foliaki. He's got the 12 on the back today. We said Karina's the captain of Queensland. There's been a few articles about Karina in the paper saying maybe she might be playing for the Broncos and being the Broncos skipper. And Brad Donald said, I could think of nothing worse than having Karina Brown, skippering the Brisbane Broncos. He said he'd be her pick.
Oh, Vanessa.
It's around the feet of Karina Brown. She does well to pick that up without knocking it on. There's a penalty there for a high tackle. So,
well, she is a first-class player.
She is.
She's the of course.
She's from the Gold. She played for the Gold. She used to play for Bell actually. Came up to Brisbane last year because they changed it around a bit with the rules. So teams just couldn't stack full of talent. So they said we need a bit of equalisation here. So she left. And Karina's actually been a driving force behind this. She was a driving force behind the setup of the Belly Bears, and now she's just a driving force behind the setup of these East Tigers. She's the usual skipper of the side, but not tonight. Vanessa's got the captain bins on tonight. As East Tigers get ready to extend this lead here. Eldridge, Foliaki. Foliaki says speeds one, beats two, tries to beat a third, tackle there 10 metres short of the line. Karina Brown to dummy half. Thompson steps, Thompson tackle there, short of the line. Brown in dummy half again. Commanding the troops, the fullback getting up in the line. Number 8 there, Azila Cook, tackle just short of the line. 14 jumps in a dummy half, Karina Thompson. Thompson goes right. Eldridge on to Foliaki back to Brown. Brown grubbers. Diffused there by Tanisha Lyons, who somehow managed to get back into the line and plays it just short of the line. Tasman Gray there, tackled just short of the 10 metre line. Tanisha Lyons still down, growing her leg there. Brought it back from the in-goal line, diffused the kick, brought it back in goal. Zahara Tamara there. That's a great rhyming name there. Zamara Tahara there with a nice little run, but she's bundled in the touch. East Tigers will continue their attack here. As you can see, Skip on the field, the skipper of the East Tigers, Vanessa Foliaki, laying down the law to her teammates, congratulating her teammates there on the great tackle, saying, come on girls, let's finish this off here. Let's get another try. Let's complete this set and get into it. Let's just dominate this thing and let's put this game to bed. East Tigers got a scrum. Halfback January Kamita with the ball in the hand. Back in right centre field. We've got girls split. We've got 2 on the left. We've got 4 on the right. Karina Brown there in the line. Standing in about a centre position, 2 off the ruck. 14 minutes to go. Feeds the scrum. Kim Dorr there runs. And Kel Bogan. No, we're not going to welcome you back. You've gone. He's
no,
back.
you got me back here, sorry.
That's all right.
Just working with the team here.
Rochelle Milne there with a tackle. Tackled 20 short of the line. On to Nakumu Hiku, who's tackled 12 metres short of the line.
Geez, you can hear the crowd really fired up for this. Even if
Eldridge. Buzz on for the lucky bounce pass there, I think, to Shelford Edwards. Shelford Edwards tackled 8 short of the line there. They're going to come back wide here. Short ball to Foliaki. Foliaki, she's going to go herself. Bumps off 1. Foliaki bumps off 3. Try time. Vanessa Foliaki does it herself. The skipper said, "Oh, get out of my way. I'm doing it myself here. I'm going to show you how it's done."
She gave a full solid metal arm to the side.
The fullback there, I think it was Kerry Jade Robertson, I think it was, just palmed her off in the throat.
Yes, it just, here we go in the replay. Here. Look at it. It's like arm
1,
of steel.
Bumps off 2, who's on the ground.
Here we go. Boom! Straight into the side of the chops.
Kerry Jade Robertson. And hopefully we can get another replay of that and slow it right down to see.
Look at that.
Here we go again.
You just don't want, when that palm comes up, you don't answer that. You want to avoid it.
Elizabeth Shelford Edwards tackled 10 short of the line. Foliaki 1 off the ruck. Beats 1. Beats 2. Who's took
pushes
a slip.
Down and pushes away.
Here we go. Bang!
Wonder Woman.
She beat 3, although there was one who was already pretty much fallen to the ground here. As we go again to watch this beautiful try from Vanessa Foliaki. I don't know.
In full speed this time, you'll get to see the full impact.
Beats 1. The second one, she's already fallen.
Push down and boom. Real slap.
And look at that. She's going, oh.
The thing is you can't have a closed fist because then it becomes a punch and then that's an offence. So
that was just a beautiful palm there. What a try. Just over 12 minutes to go. The East Tigers up 14-8. That puts it outside that converted margin. And Vanessa Foliaki to put them 16-8 up.
She's going to do very well.
My maths is terrible.
Get this, she's an interesting angle to kick from.
My maths is terrible. It's actually 6 points up now. It's 14-8, 6 points.
Vanessa's going to have an interesting time to kick this one because it is she's a fair way back there.
Try and put them outside that converted try. We'll see how she goes here. Moves in, strikes it.
Yes!
Flags
Look
it,
at
right?
that. Look at that. Well done, Vanessa. That, like, you know, wonderful setup of a try there and execution. Just the score will reflect that the kind of efforts that
These Tigers now lead the Belly Bears 16 points to 8.
Especially against the Bears, which we've said almost the stellar superstars of the competition, really.
They've built a dynasty, you could say, in a way, with 3 straight competitions.
Yeah.
Kicking was a problem for East Tigers last year. As you can imagine, with the new club, you're not really sure who's going to kick goals. So they tried a few kickers, some better than the others. Vanessa this year started off the year as the goal kicker, leading as a goal kicker. And you can see from there, she is pretty good goal kicker, I got to say. Kickoff goes deep. Foliaki takes it. She's doing it all here. Scoring tries, kicking goals, taking restarts. I think it's Karina Brown there with a restart. It's a bit hard here with the one camera trying to figure out these numbers when you don't know a lot of girls. You don't call the games a lot. Try and figure out who these numbers are, especially when they're coming from the end. That's Azala Cook, I believe it is. Their tackle just short of the 40-metre line. It's a pretty good set here for the East Tigers after points to get back up to the 40-metre line. She's back from the sin bin. Leona Theodore, she was sent to the sin bin there for repeated infringements. She's back. Bang! Namuka Hiku tackled there, an absolute bell ringer. January Kamita puts it up high. Tanisha Lyons couldn't handle that. It's 6 to go for the Tigers. They play on.
Look, the Tigers couldn't have it better to have the ball land right in their hands this close to the try line.
Yeah, Tanisha Lyons just couldn't catch that, and the Tigers can put it definitely to bed here. They're already up by 8. Now they try here.
And
You got to think it's curtains here, and these Tigers will pull off what I believe is their first win.
Very fortunate it wasn't called a knock-on. Would have slowed the game right down. Instead, they're now powering through with the play on.
Poor pass there by Isaiah Kamida. Picked up there. Not sure who that is. It's play on. Karina Brown at dummy half, directing her troops where to go. She goes blindside herself.
Oh, look at
on
this.
To Foliaki.
Making her way towards the try line.
Can she pick up another? No. Is she going to touch? It looks like it. Oh, no, it's a try, is it? I thought she went to touch.
Try.
It's a try.
There you go. It must have gone right an inch over that line.
Brandon Foliaki.
There was a whole lot of bodies put there. Very. We're going to get a replay.
We'll have a replay of that for you. We'll have a look at that. Brown, she's pointing to the open side. Does the fake. Goes to Foliaki. Foliaki. Let's have a look here. I thought the touch charge is right there. I don't know. I thought he was saying, yeah, that's out. Apparently she went over. I mean, he can see better than us. He's right there.
But then the high fives come out, and then
try, and the ref says try. I mean, because look at Burley. Burley's not saying, "Oh, no, that's you got it wrong, ref. That's a try." I can see the ball there, but that must be the line under it. Because I think that's the ball right there. You can see the leg. You zoom in. Oh, look at this super zoom. Look at the features we've got here at Tiger TV. And he zooms in, and we rewind it. We're going to go CSI. Tiger TV, we're going to zoom in and have a look at that. You can see the foot there of the Shedwood Edwards. Have a look at that foot there. If you look right to the right of the foot, you can see the ball, I think, on the ground.
Yes.
So look at CSI Tiger TV. That's why you watch Tiger TV. Vanessa Foliaki with a try in the corner. So that's 2 and 2 minutes for Vanessa. She tries to convert her second try of the night. What a try there.
There she, look at this. She's in almost the near exact same spot she was before.
She's doing it all, Vanessa. She's got the skipper on. For out wide. Oh, she's left it wide though.
It was a bit far. It was a tight angle and a real, like a lot deeper.
Yep. She left a bit short there. She was lucky she didn't hit any of the Burley Bears.
2 tries in 2 minutes. So Vanessa Foliaki.
I'm not sure what a female bear is called.
Unfortunately, couldn't convert her try.
I don't know if there's any pronouns for.
I'm sure there is one. I'm sure someone's yelling at the screen, going, "It's a," whatever it is. But 20 to 8, 6:43 to go. You got to think this one's wrapped up. These Tigeresses will march on. They've only lost one game all season. You know who that two was, don't you?
Inform me, please.
The Burley Bears in round 1. That's it.
There you go.
This will be 5 straight wins for each Tigeresses, and we'll probably put them within striking distance, depending on the result with Toowoomba, because Toowoomba, their points differential, 120 points, mind you. Youch.
Ouch.
These Tigeresses
being thrusted towards the ground there.
As you know, this is
a bit of a suplex.
As we talk, Karina Brown darts from dummy half. She's up towards halfway
look
already.
That. It's just like a shotgun straight out.
She's pretty quick, Karina Brown. She's a former touch player, actually. With Renee Gartner, who works for everyone, I think, these days. She's a freelance. She works in Channel 7 for the World Cup, works NRL Nation Radio, works South Sydney Game Day. She used to play a touch with Karina Brown when she was with the Titans.
Her only off time is when she's asleep.
I think so.
She must be a 4-hour person. Sleeps 4 hours a day, because that sounds like a full-on resume there.
Well, she used to live up in Queensland and work for the Gold Coast Times. She played touch with Karina Brown. She talked about how far she was then.
Yeah.
That would have been about 6 or 7 years ago now, and you can see she's lost none of her pace. Still fire. The Burley Bears trying to walk out of their own line here. Tackle 12 short of the line.
They were quick to shut this down, because once she...
No, it's a penalty though.
Once you get Chelsea...
No, it's not Karina, I apologise.
Once you get number 11 Chelsea...
Lena D'Souza.
Once she gets going, she's a bit of a bulldozer.
I apologise.
So they were quick to shut her down before
I apologise. That was Kim Dorr there with a great work from Markout, but Rochelle Milne was trying to hold her down too long.
Yes, she was well aware that once No, number 11's got it again, I think.
Chelsea Lindazardi.
No.
14, Shannon Nagati. Yeah, with number 12. Jasmine Kev. As we said, it's a lot hard to do because we're not doing these games all the time.
No.
It's a second year Eastern Comp, so we're still learning
like
who these players are.
Our apologies for names and
We're still learning.
But it's just a thrilling game to watch nonetheless, and we're privileged to be able to sit here and
broadcast it for you.
Yes.
It's great to see.
Look at that. 16 down to 4. 16.
Amber Pilley. Amber Pilley. She gets one back. 20 to 12. What a run there, Amber Pilley. 20
and they're
to 12.
coming for the huddle.
That's 8
congratulations.
points. It's 4 minutes to go. She kicks. This will be 20 to 14. Is there enough time?
It looked like
Can Burley pull this out of the
well,
fire?
it looked like the Bears were going to sleep in the second half here. They had a bit of a break.
Going to a bit of a hibernation. Bears going to hibernation?
Yeah. Well, they kicked it before. You said why'd they kick it short, and then they went into defence, and it looked like they've been in defence for nothing more
beats the woman
in the last 15 minutes.
Steps back by Talia Aldridge, and Karina Brown just jumps, steps out of the Karina Brown tackle and just dives over.
This may be the moment where the Bears will feel
Amber
that
Pilley
will fire them up and get them involved
I'm sure,
again.
because as we said, they've won 3 straight titles. They've got the experience. They'll be like, we know how to win these tight games. Don't you worry that.
Yeah.
It's 20 to 12 there, 3 to go.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
The clock ticks down. As we said before, there's no time off in the women's. It's 35 minutes straight.
Kicks.
Zooms in and gets it. It's 20 to 14, 2:55 to go. As we wait for that scoreboard to update. There it is. It updates 20 to 14, 2:50 to go.
To number 4 for Burley Bears, Amber Pilley.
Amber Pilley gets on her outside of Claire Shelfer Edwards.
Kelly Jade Robinson.
Too quick for
Kerry Jade Robinson
got
converted that. So, you know, it was interesting now. It's going to be a tight game, but
Amber
still
Pilley's
20. I mean, you have a minute, clearly a minute here to get the ball back and go over the line and make it 24 or 26.
There's plenty of time to make it 20 all, but can they get another point after that?
Yes.
I mean, you could see is he just slowing it down, saying, oh, where's the tee? Oh, we got no tee. Oh, we can't get off, we got no tee. Just doing every delaying tactic they can think of, trying to slow that game down.
The Tigers looking in good form. The Bears looking a little bit puffed.
But they're coming home strong though.
They look like they're going to fire up.
Look, this restart's going to be set the tone here. 6-8 metres, didn't get much. Kim Doyle there with a great tackle off the restart. Tanisha Lyons darts from dummy half, driven back there by the Honda Theodore of Vanessa Foliaki. Dummy half, almost. That's the last thing. That's the last thing Burley Bears here need. Here they drop that as pretty much game over.
Look at that.
Leakin Piatti up over the 40-metre line. Still got tackles up the sleeve. 2 tackles up the sleeve, but I'm thinking it right.
They're going to try.
Swing it left. They're going to try here. They can't. Anything conservative here.
Going down the line.
Just throw it around.
Throwing it back.
See, that's good for Easter. They're going to throw it around, which means there's more chance of making an error because they can't play conservative.
There
and
it
she's
is.
lost it.
There it is. You saw it coming. They were a little bit loose with the ball there.
As I said, they couldn't play conservative. Didn't have the time to play conservative. They had to throw it around, but unfortunately, she's popped it up in the tackle, and there's less.
You'll see it here in the replay. Here, it's just. Look at this. It's very loose.
You can see she's looking for the offload there. She's pushed it back, trying to get the offload. I don't know why you just go with the offload. These are like, hey, she's just lost that. Don't penalise us. She just lost it. I don't know why she was trying to go for the offload there. Still had one tackle up his sleeve. She was trying to force the offload. It wasn't on. The tackle was complete. She's taking the tackle. Karina Brown, the experienced Karina Brown, just takes a dirty run. She knows she's got it.
She's like I said before, a shotgun. The moment she gets the ball, clear, bang. You have no time to stop and.
Kim Doyle there with a run. Just up the jumper stuff here from the Tigeresses, and they got this done. 9 seconds to go. Kerry Jade Robinson just pulls it down from marker. Nothing still here. Off to Vanessa Foliaki. Vanessa Foliaki, she's walking. She's waiting for that siren. It goes. 20 to 14. East Tigeresses 20 defeat the Burley Bears 14. What a comeback there for the East Tigers. They were down to half time, 8-4. They've stormed home to win 20 to 14. 5 straight on the trot. This competition ends in July before the finals in August, and they could be sitting in pretty in top of the top table. As we get that song going, the East Tigers song.
It's great to hear that song. Haven't heard it much today, but it's great to hear it.
No, the results haven't gone away from the East Tigers. We lost the Hastings Colts, lost the BRL, a lot of errors in the Intrust Cup. The women, as I said, they're leading the way. They could be top of the table. They're showing the man, boys, this is how you play rugby league. This is how you want to win, be at the top of the comp. This is how you do it. East Tigers 20, Burleigh Bears 14. What a game.
That's the 5th straight win. They won our winners 20 points to 14.
Exciting. They lost at Burleigh round 1. They were up at half time. Burleigh came back in the second half, lost by about 4 points. From there, they've run the tape, played every other team in the ladder, and won 5 straight. A great performance there for the East Tigers, East Tigeresses. And I think we're going to keep going, or we're going to wrap it up. What we're doing. We're going to keep going. Keep going. East Tigeresses, as we said, 5 straight. And I believe in 2 years that's their first win over the Burleigh Bears. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the first win over the Burleigh. You can see the East Tigeresses, how much it means to them. Celebrating out in the middle. That's the song done. Good to see the East side getting their first win of the season. As I said, last few weeks they've come from behind, had to come from behind. They did it again. They're the come from behind side here. As Kel Borrigan rejoins me. They're the come from behind side. They trail at half time. I don't know what the coach is telling them at half time, but it's whatever he's saying, it's working because they are coming out the second half and getting the job done.
Much deserved. Congratulations there for the women's team. You know, very well deserved. Round of applause for them because
great
5
work.
in a row, 5 straight wins in a row, and it was a really good game tonight. Like a lot of action pack, a lot of, you know, they got close. Oh, they're being held back, and then they've just had a real good breakthrough in the second half, and when.
I think it's down to, we've got to say, Vanessa Foliaki. She's the skipper tonight. Karina Brown, I believe, is the skipper this year, but Vanessa's skippering the side tonight. She led from the front with those 2 tries at 2 minutes. That was the point that turned the tail of the game. Vanessa Foliaki kicked goals, took hit-ups off kick-ups. She did it all. Vanessa Foliaki, what do you think, Kel? She was sensational.
Oh, wasn't she sensational? She was just fine form. It was just fun to watch that in the last about 10 minutes. Within the last 10 minutes of the second half, you just see her going try after try.
Just going, someone's got to lead this side. I'm the skipper. I got to do it. We saw Amber Pilley score a late try from Burleigh to make it competitive, but East Tigeresses 5 in a row. As we said, they started the season losing to Burleigh. After that, they defeated this is not the correct order, but they've defeated Brothers Ipswich, Toowoomba, South Logan. They just ran through. It must be another 2 in there. I can't think of the top of my head.
Yeah.
Toowoomba, South Logan, Toowoomba South, Brothers Ipswich, Hillmont West, and someone else that I'm missing off the top of my head. And they've just beaten everyone else. And now they've beaten Burleigh. So in last 5 weeks, they've won 5 straight. And in those 5 weeks, they beat everyone else. So that's going to be the warning, because the other teams will see this result and go, hang on, East Tigers, they're beating everyone. How are we going to stop them? That's what the other 5 clubs are going to be thinking at the moment. How do we stop these Tigeresses? We can lead them at half time, but it's the second half. How do we hang on? What do we got to do?
Agree. Burleigh just looked like they were in a bit of a puff at the end of that, like especially on the the wingers, and even the wingers looked like they were a little bit out of breath too. So
hopefully we can get someone, Mel Tabbitt or someone, to come up and say something and say, give us a summary of the game. We got someone? No. Yeah, 5th win in a row. It's amazing. They run through the comp. Lost to Burleigh. Would you like to come on the comp? We've got Gabby here, the female manager. We'll take the microphone.
Get in. Come in.
Hi guys.
Get in there. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Hello. We're on the camera.
No, it's all good.
On camera. Come sit next to me.
Hello.
Yeah.
So, Gabby, you're the manager of the women's team. Now, as I said, they've lost to Burleigh to start the season. A close loss to start the season. And from there, they've won 5 straight. So, the other 5 sides that they've beat? The other 4 sides, who did they beat?
Get that sign.
We've now beaten everyone in the competition so far.
Only
lost to Burleigh in round 1.
So, Brothers, Ipswich, Panthers, West Panthers, South, Toowoomba, and who am I missing? Who was the other side?
Burleigh.
Oh, Burleigh, yep. Right.
That's our 5th in a row. It's awesome.
Now, I saw Vanessa Foliaki captaining the side tonight. Is she the new captain for this year, or was this just a tonight thing?
I think they're still co-captains, but sharing the duties.
So she's co-captain with Karina, right?
I think.
Okay, because Steph Hancock, of course, was our captain last year, but she's moved on to another side. She's still playing. She didn't retire. She told everyone she was retiring.
Yeah, no, Karina and Ness were co-captains last year.
Oh, were they?
Too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I didn't. It's my mistake. I thought.
Let's go.
No, okay. So
this is where we learn and understand, because it's just great to see the team tonight and like coming together, great formation. You know, not as many mistakes as the Bears were. The Bears, I mean, they were very loose with the ball in that last play there. So, I mean, for themselves, they were doing themselves no favors with that kind of play. But, you know, even still, they're, like you said, James, they're like 3 years running.
They've won the comp.
So, you know, it might have just been a one-off game, so they can probably turn around and get fired up from this.
I think they've lost a few because they are sitting in 4th at the moment. Now, as we said before, you're the manager of this side, and this is about the 3rd or 4th week that they've come from behind at half-time. How's your heart rate doing with all these come from behinds?
No, it's really good. I think sometimes when you go into half-time and you're ahead, you get sort of a bit complacent in the second half. But consistently this season, we've been digging deep in that second half, showing up for each other, getting over the line, and just making it happen.
It must be the wonderful words that said at half-time from the coach.
Oh, possibly. I unfortunately couldn't make it.
Couldn't make it tonight. No, who is our coach this year?
Dwayne Rahua.
Dwayne Rahua, he's back from last year?
Yep, he was our coach last year as well.
And he's leading the side because we could be top of the table after this round. So, and it's all because you got to say, as I said, winning 5 straight, defeating everyone else. Everyone's probably looking at East, going, "How do we stop this side? They've beaten everyone now. They come from behind in the second half. And they're doing it consistently. Everyone's going to be thinking East is the side to stop at the moment. They're the side to watch. What do we do?"
Look, I think every team just needs to keep going with their commitment and dedication training the whole way through. We certainly won't be slacking off.
No.
We'll only be getting stronger and continuing our training, making sure everyone shows up and really just bonding the team.
Well, the training is the absolute essential thing, that you don't just win premierships because you turned up on the weekend on game day.
Absolutely.
It is from the very beginning. It's when you're in the gym. It's when you're out in the paddock and you're getting your legs warmed up. You're getting your formation set, and it's like you said, it's key that they bond together and get an understanding of each other's strengths and weaknesses, and where they can build on and where they can complement. So it's a very good idea, and these days it's actually getting a bit harder now to keep people focused, and it's great to see the women's team tonight being very focused and on point, and that's how you win a game, and that's how you become champions. So
yeah, I'm definitely noticing this season the pace it's upped its intensity since last year.
Oh yeah,
everyone's really making themselves known for that
and
Premier League coming up. Just making sure, and the Talent ID days that you were
talking
talking
about. Talent ID
well.
Day, 31st of May, and then right after that is the national championship with the 6 sides: New South Wales City, New South Wales Country, Queensland City, Queensland Country, the Defence Force, first time ever, and the affiliated states.
Yep.
So that's down in Southport, and the Brisbane comps, South Eastern Queensland comps takes the weekend off that weekend where we have that competition.
Yeah, in terms of our team, we're quite grateful for our team this year. We've still got our experience from the Jillaroos.
We talked about before with Karina, who was the fullback for the Jillaroos. She's the Queensland skipper. Vanessa Foliaki, of course, was with the Jillaroos. She played for New South Wales. She didn't want to play for Queensland, even though she was meant to. She said, "No, I don't play for Queensland. I want to play for New South Wales." And they said, "Yeah, you can do that. You're the first one."
Yeah.
She kind of driven that Origin thing. So who else have we got on this side that's come back from last year, and who are the new girls?
Yeah, so from last year we also had Kim Dorr, Elizabeth Shelford-Edwards, Taylor Mapasua, Jana Kamita, Kelsey Parkin, Leona Theodore, Vanessa, Rochelle Milne, Shek Rowland, and Shannon Matto and Simone Vanden Keyboom.
So it's good.
That most of them have come back and ready to go again.
Good.
Yeah, good follow-up commitment from last year. Unfortunately, we lost a few girls to some other commitments, but they're still keen to come back next year as well. So watch the space. But even the new girls are showing up as well. You've got Taylor Eldridge, Isla Cook. Who else have you got?
I think we've got a new girl who's not playing tonight. Is that right? Who's
Dora, which is Toakis. Mahala. So that's Dora. And it's all new this year. And new to league, not just new to East, but new to league.
It's great to see. That's what you want to have, fresh, new talent coming in who would have been intimidated before. Now it's found real good, passion and drive to be on the team and be a part of this. So it's great to see that, that's what the sport needs is, people who thought they wouldn't do it and they are doing it, you know.
I think the World Cup would have helped that. They would have seen, the girls running around last year and going, "Hey, I can play rugby league as well." And now we've got the new NRL comp going, "Oh, maybe some girls who played other sports who could say, maybe I'm going to go and play rugby league instead."
Yeah.
I'm playing in the curtain raises before the men's in the semi-finals. That's going to be something amazing.
But the point just to come in and then go straight into Div 1 and be making the team and the starting side from the beginning, that's pretty impressive. And that's why...
And the thing is, this is only... We've only got one... This is, as you said, this is Division 1. We're playing in Division 1. There's 3 divisions, and some of the other clubs have multiple teams in multiple divisions. So reserve grade sides. And we've only got that one side. So...
Yeah, we do still have our portability agreement with Hounds as well. So they're Division 3. We haven't used anyone from Hounds at the moment. But I think Panthers, they have Div 1 and Div 2. I think Toowoomba, are they 1 and 3 or 1 and 2?
I can't remember, but I know they have. Yeah, so as you say, there's a lot of other clubs there with depth. And we're a new club to this. It was South Star as well. But, I mean, as we talked about before, they've recruited something... crazy. I don't know how they got those girls.
Yeah, I think they got them on board. They're doing a trip overseas at the end of the year, I think. Toowoomba? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, they're going over to the UK in October.
It's a huge incentive.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's paid for too.
Oh.
But
I just think it's great that some of the new people that are in the team tonight are all rubbing shoulders with Karina Brown and
Vanessa Foliaki.
It's great people who have such like Brown, great experience, captain of Australia, and some of these people rubbing shoulders with her and gaining her knowledge and understanding and her patience. And I mean, I'm going to call Brown the Brown Bullet because every time she kept going out and you give her the ball, she just goes straight off, just boom. Like people are like, "Oh wait, we got to be ready," because she's just. Yeah, I'm calling her the Brown Bullet now.
Yeah, no, we're all one team. We all back each other. It doesn't matter who you are or if you're new or if you're experienced. They're all one team at the end of the day, and hopefully we'll be going for drinks after.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Taylor Eldridge, I've got to say, she's new to the rugby league this year, though she was very impressive tonight.
Yeah, and she's made a few tries through the season so far as well, maybe 3 or 4 if I'm not wrong. I'd have to double check, but she's definitely made a few.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, both Taylors, Taylor Eldridge and Taylor Mapasua have made a few. Leah as well.
And of course we saw Vanessa
of course
tonight.
Ness. Yeah.
That second try where she just pushed off went bang right to the throat of the poor burly fullback there, Kelsey.
Look, there's heaps of people you could make a mention of. Like Elizabeth, she just had a baby in March and she's back into it.
Wow.
She's just killing it out there. Keisha Baker, she's only just turned 18 and Keisha Baker, yeah, she made an awesome try last weekend as well.
So she had a baby in March. You said.
Elizabeth, yeah.
And this is April, so that's only last month. And you're playing rugby league. Are you kidding me?
If you are talking about babies, I mean, Princess Kate, she did pretty well to only 19 hours in and out. Like
take that, Princess Kate, with your hair and your dress.
Yeah, because she would have had about 20.
Elizabeth, I think it was like week 8. She got her checks from the doctors, made sure everything was all good. She was really eager to come back and come back to training, but we made sure we did all the checks with.
Yeah, because I'm sure Kate had about 25 people making it look like that. Kim Dorr, I thought, was very impressive tonight in defence. She's a very good defender. That Kim, another one I want to highlight. So.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been doing sprint training and heaps of
you
things.
can see it from Marco where she just went bang. Unfortunately, they gave away a penalty. But that was a great work there. So a lot of talent in this team.
So much. It's hard to not talk about everyone. I'm sure over the season we'll have time to make sure.
Well, as we said before, we want to broadcast more games. Sometimes it's a bit hard because they're not required to film these, so it's up to the cameraman whether they want to stick around. So we've got to mention the cameraman. He probably won't watch this, will he? No? You don't think he will?
Maybe after tonight he might go, I should stick around. That was awesome.
Yeah, hopefully. And hopefully we can get more cameramen sticking around and going, yeah, we want to watch these games because they're awesome. Because we'd love to do them, but if the cameraman, we can't do them if the cameraman don't broadcast them. So thanks to the cameraman, Andrew.
I agree. This would be a real good time maybe to have the women as a curtain raiser to the men's team, because then all the people who will be coming in to see the men's team will see the women. But in saying that, it's always good that the women have the time. Like now, I'm just thinking about trying to keep the audience retention. That's what.
See, I see it as the other way around. I see the men as playing the curtain raiser to the women at the moment. I mean, I see your point because a lot of people just went, Intrust Super Cup's done.
Yep.
We just got it. It's all about, that's the marketing then. It's not actually nothing to do with any kind of biasness. There is a bit of a hint of biasness, but there is. It's not. It's just we've got to raise awareness further regards when and where the women are playing and who's playing.
And say, hey, stick around after the game. There's still another game going on. Don't go home yet.
And it's just as good as the game.
It's great.
Or even better.
I reckon that if people would have been cheering and clapping and applauding and dancing around, if they saw a Tiger side win tonight and that was it, the women...
After a disappointing Intrust Super Cup game, you needed a lift.
Yeah.
Because that was a very disappointing Intrust game.
Yeah.
And now you can just leave here on the high going, hey, he's won, they're on top of the table.
Yeah.
All the other sides, they're not winning. These girls are just showing, hey, guys, you want to win, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Everyone, I think the other teams should watch them as well. The Hastings, Deerings, the BRL, and the Intrust Super Cup should stick around and watch these girls and say, okay, so that's what we've got to do. That's how you win.
Yeah. It's all mindset.
It is. I think we're getting the cue to wind up from our technical producers. So.
Oh, just lastly, I was wondering if you heard the newest news about the women's team.
What is that?
We are sponsored by Krispy Kremes now.
We have heard that. And Mel delivers the women's sideline report for Krispy Kreme. So Mel Talbot, who's part of our team now at Tiger TV.
Awesome.
She delivers the Krispy Kreme donuts. If you want some donuts, Krispy Kreme donuts. They're the best.
Doesn't mean the team eating them is part of their training regime.
No.
Eat responsibly and reasonably.
Eat donuts only occasionally, and don't eat a whole box full or multiple boxes full.
That's only for players, right? I'm still fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Or everyone else is fine.
I always source out Krispy Kremes when I'm at the airport.
Krispy Kreme.
This is the time when I know I can.
They're the best donuts going around. They're the best donuts ever. I mean, I have to cut back because I eat too much. And, I'm trying to watch my weight, but Krispy Kreme, they're just irresistible.
I can eat a whole box.
Just before we go, I just want to shout out to all of the staff that we have and the volunteers for the women's team. So you've got Dwayne, who's the coach. You've got Travis and Marshall, assistants. You've got Dan Kleiner, first aid person. Lauren Davies. Myself and Pip Lee as the managers. Yep. And Jason Grange, we've had him all year as the trainer. And he's really been.
Well, that's great that you have a dedicated trainer to yourselves.
Absolutely, it's making a huge difference to the girls.
Yeah, and not to mention your effort because you do a lot for this team. So
I think everyone chips in everything.
Yeah,
it's all good.
There's all humble there, but
no, we all do.
The manager does.
We do all do our different bits, and we do our highlights. So I'm more on the admin side.
Yep.
And
driving things. So thank you very much for joining us, Gabby. Hopefully you can join us in the future. Hopefully in the future we can get you during the game just having
Yeah,
a
we'll
chat.
see. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Thank you very much, Gabby.
Thank you.
Well, it was a pleasure to have you here tonight.
Until next Sunday from Davies Park. We'll see you there.
We'll see you there.
East Tigers, South Logan Magpies.
I'm going to cut you off and say good night.
Good night.
Good night.